a couple of guys that will be busy. Zach Martin is choosing not to go, and Dak Prescott will tend to the awaiting the new birth of his first child.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
This is R&R in the morning.
Man in motion, handoff, Pollard coming right. Bang, zoom, touchdown Cowboys.
Yama about 3 feet behind the line. Got it.
It's R&R in the morning with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning to you. Huddle up on us. He's RJ. I'm Rob. And it is a Wednesday edition. You know how I know that, RJ?
Trash.
I got the trash to the street. The coyotes were yelping. I was heavily armed, but I made it here. And we are glad to be here on a day when we get to hear from the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, the Fredo, if you will, of the Cowboys, Stephen Jones. They're joining us from Alabama as they're at the Senior Bowl. They're always at the Senior Bowl because they're never busy this time of year. And we're going to hear from them. As
the Fredo reference is a bit lost on
Good
me.
morning, Ms. Becky.
I don't know if I've ever confessed this to you. I've only seen the first Godfather, and I watched it without.
You're on very thin ice. You know this, right?
So I've heard that the second one is the best.
Yes. It is truly, it's 1 and 1A. But if there's ever been a sequel that matched or, surpassed in quality in the story, it's Godfather 2. But one is, don't watch 2 first. Watch 1.
Right. It's on the list.
Gosh, RJ, you are under assignment. Instead of that stupid flag football game on Saturday, pop some popcorn, grab Junior, and sit down and indoctrinate him, bring him up the right way and watch Godfather. There are life lessons to be learned.
You're right. I think a 2-year-old.
Leave the gun, take the cannoli. That's when you got to start them, man. You never let the family business out. You know what I mean?
I have a question for you, Rob, as we kind of start here this morning, if you're all right with that.
I'm eager to answer questions.
What is the date today?
Today is January the 31st of 2024, 1/31/24 in America, 31/1/24 in Europe.
So, how you looking on resolutions? All right,
I don't resolve to do those anymore. I gave them up.
No, but call it a goal, call it whatever you want.
My standard goal is I like to try to read at least 2 books a month, and I'm on pace.
You've read 2 because
I've got one. I've got 1.5.
So you're committed to finishing a half of a book tonight.
I could if I chose to. I'm on pace. I'll get.
How are you going to do that? The Spurs are playing the Magic.
I know, but I can get. I've got enough to where I'll finish it within the week, and I know that we're on a short month, so I'll pick a comic book.
Okay.
I'm on pace. I'm comfortable with that resolution. My other stuff is just maintenance. You know what I mean? So no, I'm smooth as glass. How about you?
So my resolution was to appreciate health more. Thank God I'm healthy. I mean, not an Olympian or anything, but and just kind of utilize it more. Whether that be like walking more, hiking more, or whatever, running more. Yeah, it wasn't like a fitness goal per se, as much as a gratitude goal. But I'm falling short in terms of what I would feel comfortable with. And so that's a bummer 1 month in, you know what I mean? Like this is a reckoning moment for a lot of people and their resolutions.
Or it's freeing. Or you can go ahead and resolve, you know what?
Yeah,
that was a dumb idea.
Try again in 2025. Yeah.
My mother used to make us write them down. Literally, like write them down. And then
put it
pull them out
your pillow or okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm averse to those things.
There's some sports news percolating already.
This early in the morning, as this is a sports talk radio show. Is this worthy of a 3-note sting breaking news thing? As our early crew has joined us,
I wouldn't go that far at all.
As RJ percolates, let me tell you what the day is going to look like for y'all. Excuse me. We get like I said, we heard a lot from Jerry with the Spurs going to get a taste of some magic tonight as Paolo and crew come into San Antonio. The team that started fast. They're slowing down, but it'll be a not an easy evening for the Spurs if they're going to right the ship after embarrassing, humiliating, disgusting loss to a team even worse than they are in the Washington Wizards. In the NFL world, things stood pat yesterday, which it was an interesting day in the NFL. Two of the hottest coaches out there, the newest and the brightest, are staying put. One with the Texans, one with the Lions, both for different reasons, it appears. But I think both franchises, for very different reasons, have every reason to celebrate today. Detroit and the Texans. I mean, I don't know if it was arrogance or, just I don't really want to leave, so I'm going to put a ridiculous number out front for Ben Johnson, or the Texans. Well, not the Texans realizing it's worth any penny you pay to Slowik to keep him around for that one more year of class with CJ Stroud.
It's a good day for the Texans. It was, I saw it last night, was the Houston Sports Awards. So the vibes are just incredible in the 7-1-3, the 8-3-2 right now, with everything that is happening there. There's a teeny tiny bit of sports news is the PGA Tour and Strategic Sports Group have apparently closed and are expected to announce a deal.
It's
so the constant, it has become so complicated to be a golf fan. So,
I wonder, well, obviously they're just going to swallow up what's left of the PGA.
No, this is not the investment fund, the PIF. So this might alter those.
This is the different fork in this road.
Yeah.
This isn't the Saudi money. This is the other crew that's trying to.
Yeah, we'll see. But we're about to learn more about the complications of golf. But that isn't, although this week is the Pebble Beach Pro-Am.
Yeah.
So
things are kicking into gear. It is the beginning of the season.
Right around the corner from Lake Tahoe and all the people, doing their interviews and whatnot. Congrats to the Texans. Congrats to the Lions. And what a tough scene for the Commanders right now.
I know. Frank, we saw that. The Commanders are in constant search, but I'm not sure if I was the Commanders, I was looking at either one of those guys anyway.
Oh, you mean the Texans guys?
Yeah. Well, either Slowik or Ben Johnson at the end of the day. I don't think it was too hard to say no, I think the Commanders need a presence. I'm not sure they need a first-year dude.
See, I disagree. I think they need a new wave.
You think so at this stage?
Dude, their name is the Commanders. I mean,
well, that might not be. That's we've heard from Magic more than once. They might change this thing.
They need somebody, to kind of be a part of a new brain trust, a new.
I will agree with you now. I think my thought process is why the Riverboat Ron was there. They felt like they needed something.
They needed an adult to drive that boat.
Right. When Snyder was getting kicked out. Well, now that there's a new. Maybe they do need a shiny new toy, but they didn't have the money, and nor did they have the want to go after those two guys. So here we sit. Is Dan Quinn going to stay or go? Who and what is going to happen to Dak Prescott? The draft, the free agents, the questions, the anger. Jerry and Steven are setting up camp in their usual room. Where it's in it's not Tuscaloosa, Mobile. In Mobile, because they're there every year.
So they're there while the Shrine Bowl, a different collegiate all-star game, is happening in Frisco. So this is the time of year where there's all sorts of stuff going on. These are all important things, and there's scouts everywhere. But you're right. I would offer that the Senior Bowl, which is where they're at in Mobile, Alabama. Can you give us a Forrest Gump, Alabama?
Alabama.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a mini NFL combine from a networking conversation standpoint. And this is the place to be right now if you're an NFL dignitary, which is why they're there.
Unless, of course, you're headed to the Super Bowl.
No, I mean, I would offer even the Chiefs are there because the Super Bowl's not till, and the Niners. The Super Bowl's not till next week. They got time. I saw George Kittle was at the Warriors game last night. So,
what? He's not focused 100% on the game? I'm worried about that.
And Steph told him, "You got one more." I wonder if Kittle was like, "Thanks, man. We didn't know." We were really unaware of that. So really appreciate you.
I haven't checked because I'm too embarrassed to. Did because he didn't slide in. Any reaction from Kyle Kuzma?
I don't think
from
so.
my wing. No, nothing. It didn't ripple.
Good. No, but it hasn't been 24 hours yet.
So maybe
that's a rule of thumb. You know what I mean? But right now, since you've wandered down this path, and I'm not an expert on this, maybe we could ask someone of a younger age. I think the terminology is that Kyle left you on red.
He left me. Yes, he did. That's what I've been told. My sons often do. I've been told.
How's that make you feel? I mean, you're an
I'm permanently on red, man.
Wow.
You know, such is life. You know.
Hey, you took a swing. You know what I mean?
Well, it's not over yet.
You were talking about the love story, no pun intended, that you've kind of been admiring between Taylor and Trav, and you were inspired. You know what I mean? Like you were
shoot my shot.
Yeah.
I haven't got my bracelet done yet. I'll mail that to him, and if that doesn't work, then I don't know what's left.
Just with a little bead that says Robbie T, or no, that say Prime Rob.
Prime Rob, GSG, heart. No, I've thought about it. Not that it's not that I really care or anything.
You need to take a trip to Hobby Lobby. I mean, you're gonna need a lot.
Who's to say I haven't already?
That's fair.
In prep for the Super Bowl, because I am expecting an engagement, a shock engagement on the field. I'm hoping for that.
I wanted to get your answer here. Paul Resendez asked in the chat when you were talking about books and lying about how many you've read so far this year. He asked if you have read Bleachers by John Grisham.
No.
Why don't I get the John Grisham question? That feels, very specific.
I love John when he was doing the law stuff and he was writing fiction. And then I liked the one, where he's gotten into some of the nonfiction stuff, getting the guilty and wrongfully accused off. I hope Bleachers is back to his nonfiction work. That's my book club opinion for the day.
Wow.
And he's gotten, some of these writers have hired like 4 or 5 little helper writers, so there's like 5 people writing a book. I get a
team.
Yeah, I mean, this is the modern day.
Do you believe Jerry Jones?
I do believe that Jerry Jones believes what he's saying.
What is he saying? It's
not a lie if you believe it.
Oh, the old Georgism.
Yes,
one of many.
There are times during yesterday's interview, and you're gonna hear a lot from him today, where he reacted kind of like he was a cornered animal. He was about to come at you if you didn't, you know what I mean? If you didn't give him any space, he was gonna come at you. He never did. He kind of settled in, and he talked about a lot of different things. All of our questions, he responded to. You can decide whether there were answers or not. So we'll hear on all the important stuff, the free agency. We're going to hear about Dak. We're going to hear about his coach. We're going to hear about the draft. We're going to hear about everything that we want to. Now, you can decide whether you like it or not, and that will begin next as we hear from him. And oh, by the way, the Spurs have a pretty big game tonight. This is one of those measuring stick games, not only for Wemby, but for a team that's on the grow, who thought they were doing something right, who stubbed their toe the last time out. So we'll make sure you're fully aware and prepared for a game against the Orlando Magics. But coming up, Cowboy talk at his finest as we hear from the owner and Fredo, his son. Let's talk about it. He's RJ. I'm Rob. We're huddling up right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. How you feeling this morning? I hope you're looking good and living your best life. If that's you, keep it to yourself. But if you're like the rest of us, it's an ongoing effort. I've been going to the Institute for Functional Health about, good grief, 7 years now. But, my story's well known. 300 pounds nearly. I'm down about 75 pounds now. I hover around 325, 330. I'm still basically doing the same things I was sometime in years ago. I changed my lifestyle. I changed my life. I feel better now than I did 5 years ago. And my goodness, certainly 10 times better than I did 10 years ago, because once you start dropping the weight, so many of those other things that you thought was just life and getting old go away. Dr. Torres explained to me really early on that what goes in stays if you're doing it poorly, and what goes in comes right back out and keeps moving if you're doing it right. And that's what I learned. And there's so much to it. You need to meet with him. And once I did, he had me convinced that I could finally do something that I had never been able to do: lose weight and keep it off. And here I sit. So if it's time for you, as we talk about your resolves, your New Year's resolution, if it's time for you to match that, or you've just resolved to do it, I want you to write this number down. It's 210-468-1891. It is literally a number that will change your life. Talk with Dr. Torres. Go out and meet the great staff down there at McCullough, but change your life. He will do something that nobody else ever has, I bet. He will be a mentor. He'll be a coach, and he'll take you down the road. You just got to resolve to take that first step. Before you know it, you'll be doing it. Call Dr. Torres today. Find out what the IFF has done, and I'm sure you're going to be thanking me later.
The Sports Star Boys are headed to Vegas for the big game.
Remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
This Monday, Rob and RJ and Jason and Joe are heading to Sin City and Radio Row for the big game with security provided by AA Best Bail Bonds.
Let's go to Vegas. We'll all get drunk and
Woo!
think you're going to get away with it. Not up in here. Not up in here.
Powered by AA Best Bail Bonds, Synergen-X, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Well, family, this new year is off to a great start. Everybody, how are those New Year's resolutions?
Dear, my resolution is to cut my damaged hair and just start over.
Dad, my resolution is to take better care of my skin. It's so dry. Ew.
Pops, my New Year's resolution is to work out at the gym. Go up and drink a gallon of bottled water every day.
My resolution is to take up skydiving.
Mom, you're 96.
Don't you make me get it.
Family, my resolution is to replace all our appliances that have been destroyed over the years by hard water.
Sounds like your family needs to start the new year off with installing a Connecticut water system and get a head start on all those resolutions.
This guy's making sense.
There's a reason why we say Connecticut is the last water softener you'll ever own. Call us at 656-PURE. I'll even let you try a Connecticut water system for free. We'll change your water, and it'll change your life.
The last water softener you'll ever own. Connecticut SA.com.
You're all set with your Medicare prescriptions, Mrs. Brown.
This is not just low-cost copays at Walgreens.
I can actually help you set up 90-day refills if you want.
This is having a partner you can trust. Get low-cost copays, 90-day refills, and delivery from your neighborhood Walgreens. This is being independent. Together. Walgreens.
Restrictions apply. For details, see walgreens.com/pharmacy.
Get the appliances you need right away at Lowe's. Explore the largest assortment of brands you trust, like Whirlpool, Samsung, and LG, in-store or online at the best values. Plus, take advantage of our everyday financing offers on top items, from refrigerators to laundry pairs. And there's more. Get your new appliances delivered or installed quickly at your convenience. Because Lowe's knows appliances, Lowe's knows home improvement. Subject to credit approval.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride-sharing cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
If you're facing $10,000, $20,000, or even $30,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt, there are programs available that can consolidate those debts into one single reduced monthly payment you can afford if you qualify. Accredited Debt Relief is on a mission to help you become debt-free in just 24 to 48 months. They've helped over 300,000 qualified consumers. Hardworking Americans just like you pay off more than $3 billion in debt, earning them an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Accredited Debt Relief will tailor the program to fit your specific budget and financial situation. So call Accredited Debt Relief now for your free no-obligation savings estimate and let them help you take control of your financial destiny.
Call 800-249-8866. 800-249-8866. That's 800-249-8866. 800-249-8866. Program and services not available in all states.
The Australian Pink Floyd Show. First Class Traveling Set World Tour 2024. August 22nd, Boeing Center at Techport. Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at livenation.com. The Australian Pink Floyd Show.
Super Bowl 58 in Vegas is set. It's the Chiefs and Niners. Hear it right here on your exclusive home for the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It's Rob and RJ. Hey, morning crew, I got something for you right now. You want to go see Neil McCoy? I got your tickets. And if you're listening right now, grab a device. 656-3776-656 ESPN Morning Crew. This is for you. Be caller number 3. If you're quick on the dial, you'll be going to see Neil McCoy at our beautiful Frostbank Center. It will smell of manure, but it will smell that way tonight as they bring in the Orlando Magic. And after what last night's or the last performance we saw, hopefully they scrape that poop off their shoes and we'll get back to work and continue their improvement. But with that being said, speaking of the ongoing need for improvement, the acorn that will become the mighty oak, that is the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones is seeking some more manure down there to spread over those young players. He's looking for a new one or two in Mobile, Alabama at the Senior Bowl. He and Steven were there. Have you ever been to one of those combine kind of bowl things? I never have.
I never have. There's value in it, but it's just not my.
Yeah, I would be interested, but it's just not one of those things that you got to be in it to go watch those guys just and see what they're looking for. By the way, that's RJ Ochoa. He partner in crime and managing editor of Blogging the Boys here.
I think there's genuinely or generally more value in the week leading up to activity. And this is really, like even the combine is, excuse me, mostly about medical information.
Right.
It's not so much like, oh, we need to watch you run. It's like, it's just everyone goes, gathers the information, and then generally kind of leaves before any kind of drills. Because these dudes are doing pro days anyway.
Right. What is the type of player that's at the Senior Bowl? I always felt like Senior Bowl guys were probably number 15 and down.
It's people who need to bump up their
right.
stock.
The third best tackle in the draft.
Well, but even like Michael Penix Jr.'s there,
Yeah.
and so that's part of what this is. It's you're not consensus. You've got to go answer some questions and
right.
But
this is where championships are made and built, right? This is where you get the dudes that win titles.
Yeah, I mean, and the Cowboys generally find a lot of players from both the Senior and the Shrine Bowl. I mean, they're all-star games. I mean,
we're always there. I mean, we got a lot of free time during the
right.
combine.
Well, that's the thing. Like the most impactful thing that usually comes out of this for the Cowboys is what Jerry and Steven have to say.
Right.
And
it is their first available. So here we sit. And Jerry was, I talked about his demeanor yesterday. It went from caged animal to showman. I mean, that's just Jerry. But it felt early on, and you'll get the sense, I think, that I did when he was asked about the general mentality of the Cowboy fan, the anger that is kind of floating around outside of the Star. And just listen to his response.
What I would say is, I hope it's not different going into the first playoff game where we've got the second seed. I hope it's not different at all to that point where we got the second seed. Okay, now let's talk about how we might make it different against when we play in that game and get a win. Okay, we need to stop the run better. And we need to be more physical, and we need to run better. Be specific. We need to do those kinds of things more. And so my point is, I look at that, and I look at. I thought we made a pretty good move 4 years ago when we hired Mike McCarthy, and he's had some great in-season success. Now he's come up short three times and advanced us in the playoff. Okay, but I like the fact that he's hanging around the rim, and I like what the team has done to hang around the rim. So I think of what the answer that I would have is that I'm aware that we're hanging around the rim. We're not getting the ball in, but we're hanging around the rim. Let's don't discount hanging around the rim and where we are right now with the players we've got. And I'm thinking about it from the whole look. The real question is I'm not doing what I was doing 30 years ago. I'm not doing what I was doing 20 years ago on a personal basis. I think about a lot of things differently. That's important because if I were doing the very same things over the last 30 years, 20 years. Okay. Then unless you looked at the whole report card, the report card you're seeing about winning in the playoffs, I don't like. There's some other parts of the report card that
yeah, there's a lot about the report card we don't like. This is Jerry Jones yesterday talking about the future there. And I felt as he began, he was a little, all right, hey, remember what you were saying 3 weeks ago?
There was nothing he said that changed my life at all. I mean, it was such a nothing statement.
Well, didn't he say this last year? Weren't we also talking about stopping the run and running the ball last year? I mean, but this is nothing new.
Those are just meaningless platitudes to me. Like, that's like when people, think that they're criticizing Dak Prescott and they say things like he struggles down the field, he has accuracy issues, and he has ball. But it's like, come on, get a grip. And so, like, Jerry's saying that they have to stop the run. Again, it's just casting as wide of a net as possible in terms of football, jargon. But what the one thing he said that everybody wanted to dunk on, no pun intended, was the hanging around the rim thing.
Yes.
And I don't have a huge problem with, because you're 12-5, and I tweeted about that, and friend of the show, Dave Hellman of Fox Sports, responded with it's actually really sad. It was a photo of Ben Simmons, and he said hanging around the rim can mean a lot of different things. and so that's a real humbling way to look at this.
Very true.
But I mean, this is it, man. Another guest who we've had on a lot, Rob Stats Guerrero, who covers the Niners for Gold Standard Network. When the Niners lost to the Ravens on his postgame show, he had such a great line that we can't say on the radio, but he said, "Get ready to eat a crap burger." He was like, "That's what this week is going to be. We're going to have to eat a crap burger. Like, everyone is going to be coming for us and all this stuff." And like, this is an off season of that. Like, you didn't like the first crap burger, dude. We accidentally, the kid was playing with the iPad and ordered 10 million instead of 10. And so we just have to eat these now. They're all in the freezer. Like, we have to eat them through the whole offseason.
He ain't going to eat one. No. In fact,
nobody's going to buy any of this.
Coming back. Are you buying it? Seriously, are you buying that Jerry's all in? The lack of or behind the scenes commitment to both his coach and his quarterback. Next up, as we hear from Jerry, is Steven in the Maya Culpas and what we'll do better. That's RJ. I am Rob. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
The venue's set. Families coming in from all over. It's our quinceañera. With all the excitement, it may be easy to overlook COVID-19. It's still a risk, and that's why it's muy importante to get this season's COVID-19 shot ahead of time. It helps protect against COVID-19, which can cause severe illness and hospitalization. So let's set the date, vaccinate, and celebrate. Learn about a vaccine option and book this season's updated COVID-19 shot today at schedulecovidvax.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hi, my name is Alani. A little thing I like about the Spicy Deluxe sandwich is that you taste the crunch, you taste the pepper jack cheese melting, and you taste the spicy flavors in the sandwich. I'm telling you, 10 out of 10.
Hi, my name's Enrique. A little thing I love about Chick-fil-A's Spicy Deluxe sandwich is you get that rich flavor of the chicken and definitely that nice, tangy, warm bite. It's the perfect harmony of spiciness and taste.
Order the Spicy Deluxe sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Progressive asks, what do a slow Friday night, bored teenage boys,
I'm bored.
a pack of fireworks,
This is gonna be awesome.
and a teetering branch suspended over your car have in common?
Look out!
They can quickly wreak havoc on your slow Friday night.
Uh-oh.
Bundle your home and auto with Progressive for great savings and round-the-clock protection.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Working from home, you realize you don't have enough outlets or USB ports. Hill Electric can fix that for you. For over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. From adding an outlet, fixing that fuse that always blows, or that flickering light, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price, and there is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or go to hill-electric.com.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Nothing but net. Good shots. Man, I miss playing basketball. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone? What do you mean? All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text BACK to 231-231 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text BACK to 231-231. That's BACK to 231-231.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Let's go! Hi, it's Jason Minix. You're listening to the home of the Cowboys, 94.1 San Antonio.
I have a lot here.
It just kicks out. Like, I mean,
take that off. Yeah. We're playing golf on March the 25th. That was supposed to be a promo for those that are watching, and we appreciate you. I'll go to our YouTube feed. Make sure you are liking, subscribing, and doing all the appropriate listener viewer tax things that are appropriate. Put
the like tax.
Like
Get
tax.
it right. The like tax.
What if I want to call it something else?
That would not make sense. It'd be like, what if I want to call gravity something else? What if I want to call food something else? You know, like that's what it is.
The like tax.
Thank you. Like the video. Turn on the noties. That's the verbiage here. Turn on the notifications.
We need to have a segment where you're teaching me this.
I mean,
noti. No, I thought you were saying NOD, but notifications.
No,
the noties.
noties. Yeah, and then And then the people who do it, they're referred to as the Noti gang. They're the people who have notifications turned on.
Hey, Noti gang, listen closely. We go to sasportstar.com. Get yourself signed up for our golf tournament. You're single? That's cool. We'll find you a threesome. If you got your crew together, get yourself signed up. We're already filling up more than we've ever seen this early. So we're expecting a good time. It's March the 25th. It'll be out at the Golf Club of Texas. It is easy to play and a lot more fun to be out there with us. So we look forward to seeing you there. What's that? The golf course is down there. That's part of the Bobby Jones Trail, right? You can go down there and play some golf in Bama and through that and play that. There's like 12 courses down there. You think Jerry and Steven are playing some golf? You think the Bravo Eugenia is docked out there outside of Mobile?
No, I think that they are probably having conversations
So they're
about
working.
hedge funds and corporate things.
Well, the assumption is they're there working, right?
I mean, not on football, but yeah.
They're there to make some money.
This has been a hard week for the Jones boys. Not that anybody is, pouring one out. But early in the week, there was the podcast from The Athletic where Stephen Jones is accused of not knowing who a prominent Detroit Lions player was during the NFL draft. And we thought that would be the worst thing that either of them said. But then they got behind some microphones and cameras. Actually, I think it's interesting how you get behind a microphone, but in front of a camera. You know what I mean? It's the same principle.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very
but anyway, true. They got behind it in front. And I don't really have a problem with what Stephen said. I mean, they got to eat these crap burgers, man. People are going to be mad at them, and there's nothing they can do about it right now.
Okay, the first of the lightning bolts to strike after the season was done was Jerry's firm commitment to Mike McCarthy, at least until he has to stop paying him or can stop paying him. This is Jerry on his decision to retain Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, it was just overwhelmingly, I thought, the best decision to have the continuity that Mike brings. When I look at the job he's done over the last 4 years, I can point to some real positives, not the least of which are his 12-win seasons. I think we certainly have made improvement in areas. I think Dak, for instance, right at a key spot there with Dak. Dak has improved since Mike has been here. And I think we can look forward to that improvement. There's more there to get in terms of Dak's improvement. Quote Mike, and the evidence points to that. And so with more to get there, more pluses on Dak, that impacts a lot of the other things we're doing right now with our decisions we're making. So it all made sense to have him back.
Did you have to talk yourself into it, or
No.
There it is. I like that last bit. You tell that was Clarence Hill Jr. Fort Worth Star Telegram. Did you have to talk yourself into it? No, didn't have to.
I'm seeing a commercial right now. Did you know that the conference championship T-shirts that the Niners and Chiefs just won, earned the right to wear, literally says the 49ers are all in. That's literally what it says on the shirt.
Well, they are.
They are. And the Cowboys are too, apparently. I mean, cool. You're keeping again, nothing this is only raising my stress level. Like these clips.
Well, he told the truth there. Everything he said was truthful. And it's not like, I've got a lot of things to be mad at him about. The McCarthy thing is really one of the fewer things I'm mad about.
I think that they're stuck. I'm not.
Yeah, I get his sense. I get the sense where he is with McCarthy. I really do. And the final justification was how Dak has noticeable improvement.
Sure, but
isn't that enough right now to go one more year, considering both are on the same?
How is it enough? How can it be enough and all in simultaneously? It can't be.
I'm looking around. Well, if there was a coach out there that I felt like if that guy was here this year, given what will be here, and there was an availability and a flirtation, then I'd have a different tack on this. But if it's Mike McCarthy and Slowik or Ben Johnson, no, that's not the time for those guys, especially here.
Here's my take. anytime these dudes speak, anytime, only bad things can happen. That's the point we've reached. I'm sorry. I mean, and that sounds like a joke.
Wow, you're cynical.
Buy into us.
I'm being completely serious. And look, I was really mad, really, really, really mad. And I think that a lot of people were when the season ended, right? And not that I had cooled off, but I think that, we had just allowed ourselves to be mildly entertained by other things for 2 weeks. And then they spoke again. And it was just you know what I mean? It was just like, just stop talking. I mean,
what would be the thing that would calm your mind if he said in his best Jerryisms? I mean, seriously, what could he have said that you would have went, all right, you get it? What would it have been?
He said that they're going all in. I mean, and that's,
that's fluff. Yeah, I get you. But what would be the right, if he'd have come out and said, we're going to do this and that, RJ?
If he had said, we're going to mortgage our future in the name of making this season the best one it possibly can be, because saying you're going all in can mean anything, right? It can mean anything you want it to mean. It can mean, we're going to give our own guys big contracts. They might define giving CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons and Dak Prescott big time extensions as being all in. But you have to do something that makes you uncomfortable. Looking back, I hated the Amari Cooper trade when it first happened. I was like, this is ridiculous. You're giving up a first round draft pick for this dude. And he was awesome. That was kind of an all-in move.
Right.
And you're going to have to do something that makes you uncomfortable. We had a round table last night on the Blog on the Boys, or throughout the Blog on the Boys universe. And I asked our staff, and I'm going to ask you, do you believe, it's a yes or no question, do you believe that they, Jerry and Steven, are as mad, pissed off, sad, whatever, as we are?
No.
Okay, then how do you believe anything else? If you don't believe that, how can you believe that they're dedicated?
I also know, it's okay. I'm not mad at him for that. But because I just need to know where you are. I'm not going to put my expectations on you. But all I expect from you is to tell me exactly where you are. And if you'll tell me that, then that's enough for me, because your motivations are very different than mine. And if your motivation is, look, man, you want to talk, I just saw the Baltimore Orioles go for $1.13 billion. I can't imagine what the Cowboys are worth. Seriously, I can't. $13-14 billion. So if I ask Jerry and Steven, was this a successful year? And they go, well, hell yeah, it was. Well, I know their motivation was, it's kind of winning, but it's a lot about the bottom line.
I want to answer a question from the chat. Antonio Williams says, does all in mean Derrick Henry is a Cowboy next year? Because this has been thrown out, right, by a lot of people. No, but I mean, because you asked a fair question, what would all in be? And I said, you got to do something that makes
Derrick
you
Henry
uncomfortable.
Would feel all in.
No, I see, and I'm not attacking you or Antonio Williams in the chat, but so in all likelihood, Derrick Henry's going to be a free agent. The Titans are going to move on from him. So and again, I'm not trying to make fun
that's
of
all you're doing
proposal.
is this.
But your all in move is signing a free agent running back.
But it would be a good start, though, we can admit. I mean, but the thing about
it wouldn't.
Here's the thing that bothers me.
Do you realize how sad and pathetic our expectations are?
Oh, you're right.
That it's if they sign a free agent running back, we're going to consider that to be all in. That is so sad.
No, but I don't think anybody thought that would be it. It would include others inside and out of the fence. But what bothers me is, and it seems like this is every year, is the moment that Jerry and Steven and the Cowboys start getting questioned about free agency and guys that are available, there seems to be a star working out in Dallas. You see that guy who was it last year that was working out in Dallas? Was it wide receiver with the Titans now?
With the Titans,
former Texan was with. Oh man,
DeAndre Hopkins.
Remember D-Hop was working in Dallas, and it seems like that's a plant. Okay, well, we're looking for somebody who would be a star that would appease the masses. Well, why don't we bring Odell Beckham to a Maverick game? Or how suddenly they're working out in Dallas?
Even those
that seems like a plant.
Even those things would have just been free agent signings. And to be very clear, those are necessary parts of going and being all in the way we want them to be. But you have got to do way more than that. It cannot just be, okay, it feels like, you've spent a lazy Saturday with a honey-do list. And one of the things was change the shower head, and you went and did that. And you literally, you didn't do any plumber tape. You just unscrewed it and screwed it on. You're like, okay, well, I'm done for 3 hours. I'll revisit the list after lunch. That's what that would be. Like, you've got to do way more than that, man. Like, it is again, Jim talking to Michael Scott, you cannot just sit there and do nothing. You cannot be the last team to sign an external free agent the way you were last year. You have to care. You have to be more pissed off than we are. This is your family. And yes, you are wealthy, beyond wealthy, but relative to what we care about here, you're a joke. Like, that's the reality.
We will tell by their actions, no longer by their words, but we got a lot more of those words. What do you hear what he had to say about Dak's extension? Hey, coming back, though.
I'm so tired.
Addition by non-subtraction. It's possible, and it happened yesterday in the NFL. We'll talk about it next. He's RJ, I'm Rob, and we're huddling up. We'll be right back here on 94.1, a San Antonio Sports Star. Hey, grillers, I'm talking to you. Before you fire up that grill this weekend, I want you to head over to Tri-County Meat Markets, either one of those locations, to get the meat that you need, because a great meal always starts with great meat. And Tri-County, boy, they got it stacked neat when they're ready for you. They're locally owned and fully sourced with what you're looking for to up your grilling game, from beef and chicken, pork. You're looking for fajitas? Boy, they're pre-seasoned. You can cut those with a warm breath. They're good. They're poppers that are stuffed. They're as big as apples. And if you're looking for ribs, they got the Bronto ones. They've got the pork ribs the way you like them. They'll remove the membrane for you if you ask for it. English cross-cut ribs are easy and quick. You might want to ask for those as well. Tri-tips, picanhas, in-house made sausage. Their burgers are outstanding. Their brisket burgers, try them. You're not going to go back once you go there. They got what you need. Head over there today. Remember, the 5 for 25 is always in play. First responders, you're always getting 10% off. Don't walk out the door without getting on that email list so you know all the specials as they come available to you. Listen close. Before you fire up that grill, I want you to head over to Tri-County Meat Market, because a great meal starts with great meat. Get some great meat, put it on the grill, and I know you're going to thank me later.
The professional football playoffs are here.
Out of the gun, back to Dak. Left side of the end zone. Touchdown.
14 teams with only one goal in sight. The big game in Las Vegas. Presented by Flight by Yingling. Hear it on your exclusive home. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hurt in a wreck? Get George. Hit by an 18-wheeler or commercial truck? Get George. Injured at work? Get George. When you're dealing with personal injury, you need to get George, because George gets justice. I'm George Salinas, and my San Antonio-based firm has been recognized across the state of Texas and the United States. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now, and the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Did you know some ordinary cold medicines can raise your blood pressure? That's alarming. Fortunately, there's Vicks NyQuil high blood pressure. It's specially formulated without alcohol, sugar, or decongestants to provide fast, powerful nighttime colds and flu symptoms relief for people with high blood pressure. So if you have high blood pressure, try NyQuil high blood pressure. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, colds, and flu for people with high blood pressure medicine. Use as directed and keep out of reach of children.
If you only have a 401k, you're not getting the most for retirement.
Wait, what?
Add a Robinhood IRA on top, then they'll boost it by 3%.
You can do that?
And if you transfer in any retirement account, you get 3% on top of that.
Is there a limit to the match?
No limit. Robinhood Gold gets you the biggest contribution match of any IRA on the market. Sign up for Robinhood Gold at Robinhood.com/boost by April 30th. Subscription fees apply.
Investing involves risk. 3% match requires gold for 1 year from first match. Must keep IRA for 5 years. Match on transfers subject to additional terms and conditions. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save 10% when you buy 68 or more panels of select OSB sheathing. Plus, save an extra 5% every day on eligible purchases when you use your Lowe's business credit card. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. 5% offer subject to credit approval. Exclusions and terms apply. See store at Lowe's.com/credit for details. U.S. only. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
Show your love this Valentine's with exquisite fashion jewelry from Diamonds Direct and save an extra 20%. Now through Valentine's, all fashion favorites at Diamonds Direct are on sale. All earrings, all bracelets, all necklaces, stackable bands, colored gemstone jewelry, and more. Lots of romantic and timeless gifts for under $500. Special financing available too. Don't miss this. An extra 20% savings on all fashion jewelry favorites at Diamonds Direct. Shop in store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Super Bowl 58 in Vegas is set. It's the Chiefs and Niners. Hear it right here on your exclusive home for the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Wow. He's RJ. I'm Rob. That was a hard slam in.
That was my mistake.
Well, we're okay.
I feel like we slammed on the brakes and I hit my face on the dashboard. Welcome back to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He is RJ Ochoa, the managing editor of Blogging the Boys. I am Rob Thompson. We're about to talk Spurs as they're welcoming in the Orlando Magic tonight, a game that good measuring stick game. We'll talk all about it as more and more All-Star news is coming out. Wimby got some more news. But first, looks like the Texans hiring of D'Amico Ryans was one of those signpost events that when we look back on Texas
culture changer
history. Yeah, it's one of those Tom Landry kind of hires for, you feel like they've right man, right moment. And here we sit with a quarterback. But I put it to you that keeping Bobby Slowik around for another year in Houston is as big a move as bringing Ryans in.
I wouldn't go that far, but it is really important. I mean, I would stretch it a little bit, stretch your words, and say keeping the immediate brain trust around CJ Stroud with Gerard Johnson as well. All that is really, what's good for the goose is good for the gander type thing. And, not that, Stroud will reach a point where he can kind of work and thrive completely on his own, but as an incredibly young and raw player still, it's helpful to not have to have such a dramatic change this early in his career.
Beyond helpful. Just look at what now Herbert's going through. Josh Allen's had to go through it. Bryce Young's going to go through it. Baker Mayfield is the poster child of it. Quarterbacks that go through different offensive coordinators and different schemes year after year, especially as they start their career, it's almost a death nail, man. It is an exit ramp if you don't do it right. And I think the Texans did it with all the right reasons. And I think Detroit did their best, but I think this was more about Ben Johnson than it was about Detroit. But he's going back to Detroit.
Ben Johnson wants to get paid.
Yeah, I think he said, I don't mind staying.
Uncomfortable word.
Well, no, he's happy where he is. Put a for sale sign with a whole lot of money out front. If somebody will pay it, hey, I'll move then. Hey, coming back, let's talk Spurs. They got the Magic in town. We'll see if they got some themselves next.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, it's Wednesday, so you know what that means. Hope Day! Get ready to hear that all afternoon. Plus, we'll talk with Clarence Hill Jr. about what Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones had to say yesterday.
Are they really going all in? We'll talk about that. The Blitz at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Joe Reinagle here. I want to tell you about something that has completely changed my life. I had vision correction surgery at Parkhurst New Vision. The results are amazing. The readers are a thing of the past. Hey, if you're like me and tired of those glasses, call Parkhurst New Vision at 210-585-2020. They offer a variety of services like vision correction surgery. So call Parkhurst New Vision, 210-585-2020, or get them online at sanantoniolasik.com.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Wireless headphones. That'll be $200.
I'll use my Capital One Quicksilver card.
Now that's a hit. You used the Capital One Quicksilver card, which makes you the hero of every purchase. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere.
I wanted running music, but unlimited 1.5% cash back is pretty heroic.
Good instincts. Every hero needs a theme song. Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth. And if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges on your tax debt daily. So if you owe the IRS today, you will owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, the experts at Optima Tax have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-970-3199. That's 800-970-3199. 800-970-3199.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
We're here with Jose Rios, attorney at the Gomez Law Firm. If you are injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, Jose, what's the first thing our listeners should do?
The first thing they should do is pick up the phone, call the Gomez Law Firm, or Google JoeGomezLaw.com.
Gomez Law has been protecting the people of our community for almost 50 years. They're the leader in personal injury law.
We do ride-sharing cases. We do carbon monoxide cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries.
But that's not all your firm does, Jose. Tell us a little more about other cases Gomez Law takes on and wins here in Texas.
Really, anything that involves a personal injury and a third party that is responsible for causing that injury, we will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit JoeGomezLaw.com.
And remember, Gomez Law fights.
KTFM Floresville. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the Aggies. San Antonio's Sports Center.
In the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs return to action tonight as they continue their 7-game homestand, looking to bounce back from a horrible loss to the Wizards the other night, and will welcome the Orlando Magic into the Frost Bank Center. Tip-off will be at 7. In other Spurs news, Wemby was named to the All-Star Rising Stars game. We're talking about it all as we talk silver and black next.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
This is R&R in the morning.
Man in motion, handoff, Pollard coming right. Bang, zoom, touchdown Cowboys.
Yama about 3 feet behind the line, got it.
It's R&R in the morning with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Hey, coming at you like an Ole Miss towel boy. He's RJ Ochoa, the managing editor of Blogging the Boys. I'm Rob Thompson, the comfortably ensconced in a warm and comfortable studio this morning, which is, I can't always say that. Spurs get busy in tonight, but before we do that, the perfunctory good mornings to all. I hope everybody's doing well on a hump day kind of day as we wait for Joe to announce that later today. How you doing, RJ?
Yeah, I'm doing well.
I have some coffee, man.
Actually, just tried to make some, and it failed. So, everything.
That lends itself to a whole lot of questions. Yeah. We got news yesterday that Victor Wembanyama, the most often mispronounced name in modern sports. Anybody else who suffers more? No, I'm just saying. Is there anybody else out there that suffers more from mispronunciations than Victor Wembanyama?
Tyrod Taylor would argue himself, as he told us on Hard Knocks.
Mm-hmm.
I think probably people gloss over Joel Embiid. Probably gets
instead of Joel.
Yeah,
Joel, get off the babysitter.
Yeah, something like that. Luka probably catches his fair share.
We all know he lives upstairs.
I'm just saying. Yeah, there's there's probably a handful.
I'm just saying, Wembanyama, who has the number 4 highest selling jersey in the NBA, catapulting the Spurs into the 9th best selling merch program in the association. Wemby's going to be playing, he's going to be doing the skills thing. He's going to be doing the rising stars, but I would prefer to see him on Sunday. I still say he's an all-star by performance alone. Point a minute.
Not impossible.
No, it's not a done deal yet. And I think that given the minutes restrictions and things that he's been dealing with, even if he is announced an all-star, he might suit up, play a couple minutes and sit down. But it would be a worthy thing to be given, knowing that what everybody has been saying about what he is. Before Kendrick Perkins talked about Victor yesterday, and we're going to have some sound from him about the future of the Spurs. But currently, as they play the Orlando Magic, they're coming up against the last year's Rookie of the Year in Paolo Banchero, who came in singularly prepared to be an NBA player. He averaged 20 points, 6.9 rebounds, 3.7 assists in 72 games as a rookie. He won the Rookie Award. Wemby's numbers are better. Should get it again, but it'll be a nice matchup because they played the same kind of game, though Wemby's got him by about 5 inches.
I mean, I'm so tired of the Rookie of the Year discourse.
That's all we got, RJ. That's all we got.
No. I'm not tired of going to bat. Let me be very clear. I'm tired of the dumb narrative against Wemby. Or really, it's not even a dumb narrative against Wemby. It's a dumb narrative for Chet. And we talked about this last week. People are making me hate Chet, and I don't want to. Like, that's so unfair. But you're saying all this stuff to where I have no choice in this matter but to, go to bat for our dude. And when you're saying stupid stuff, that's where we're at here.
I want you to listen to Kendrick Perkins as we get closer and closer to the trade deadline. And, of course, the teams that are in desperation are going to be making themselves very apparent. Lakers certainly bubbling up to the top, and we've seen some other moves float around. This is Kendrick Perkins talking about the future of the Spurs because of Wemby.
Like you're hearing the rumors that a lot of players want to go play with Victor Wembanyama. So like he's gonna attract guys that want to go and say, you know what, let me get there to San Antonio. I don't know how true the rumors are about, Trae Young, possibly going back going to San Antonio or getting back to DeJounte Murray. But guys want to play with Victor, and they should. He's the guy that he's that when they get there, it's going to be a different story. And I'm not trying to disrespect the guys around him, but they're just not that damn good.
Kendrick Perkins yesterday, and
really
the
well
end of the sentence was really the true meaning of that bite. Yes, how much? What should our allegiance be here? Because
what do you mean?
Well, I
What are
mean,
the
how?
options? I feel like there's only one option.
Right. So when and if Keldon or Devin get dealt,
Okay, we got a week.
a little bit, yeah. And I don't think much. Maybe something happens now. I think the likelihood will be in the off season. I think that
but still,
if I was
a week till where that can is officially kicked.
We're not going to be upset, are we?
Look, right now, somebody says, "Rob, I want to buy a Spurs jersey," and
a lot of people do.
Hear me out. They're sold out of Wemby. Should I buy a Keldon jersey? Should I buy a Devin jersey?
Well, what a great question. There's that Waffle House index during hurricanes. You can tell how things are doing by which Waffle Houses are open.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe we should have a jersey watch. Like, how are Keldon and Devin's jerseys doing? Are they available? Are they making new ones?
Well, I mean, that's if you open a gift, your son's got you Dad, we got your Spurs jersey. And you're like, I'm not really a jersey guy, but you got it for me, right? And it was a Keldon Johnson jersey. How many times are you wearing this?
I'm wearing it as much as I can early. Because when you hear guys like Kendrick Perkins, these are league guys. You don't talk about guys that have been in the same club. They might not know each other, but they're in the same club.
Sure.
And he had no compunction at all.
I think
these guys suck.
I think he went about it. It was funny because of who he is and how he delivers things. But I think what he said was really fair and respectful. I mean, and who is out there? Who are the Keldon stands? Who? And I don't say that in a rude way, but who is saying no and change it up? It doesn't have to be Keldon. Pick whoever you want. Who is saying that this person is absolutely a part of the future that Wemby is taking us to?
Well, it's
nobody.
Funny. Well, we used to say, it was last year. It was everybody to the right of Keldon and Devin. That was the future.
Changed.
And then you go, well, everybody to the right of Devin. And then everybody just to the right of Wemby, and everybody is expendable. And I think with every passing game, we're realizing that the guys that we thought were going to be something aren't. And if that's the case, if we continue to see these uneven, uninspired performances because the talent just isn't there, maybe the guy that we're entrusting to make the deal that we're looking for ain't the right guy taking the calls. If the Brian Wright is the guy that is responsible for surrounding or having a team prepared for Wemby that is full of guys that aren't that good, according to Kendrick Perkins and many others, is he the right guy to be in charge of taking the phone calls to make the deal to improve the team?
Let me craft you a little hypothetical. Okay, sit back. I'm, cooking something up real quick.
Superman running the other way. Okay.
We find out in this hypothetical in the summer that the Spurs turned down a trade for DeJounte. I won't even go as far as trade.
Mm-hmm.
Are you mad?
Well, if there has been no other further movement, and DeJounte might not be the best example because
why?
There's a history
there. It's a fine example.
Well,
so what? I mean, he's a
I'm
player
not sure he's the guy that I wanted initially. If I find out that the deals were passed up on for maybe like a bird in the hand is better than one, they're just waiting on a better deal, then I'm going to be a little upset.
Let's stick with your guy. A deal for Kyle Kuzma was passed up because it didn't fit the timeline of what they're doing. And they still have their eye towards what they're building and blah, 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 blah. They passed up a deal for Kyle Kuzma. They had talk. They broke bread after the Wizards.
Well, I know the parameters, like what it would have been, the offer, and I find it amenable, a first rounder and a guy or something like that.
It's not.
I'll be furious. I'll start to question because
we're talking not a slam dunk. Oh man, we're robbing you blind.
And a deal. Both parties walk away going, okay. So if it's that, I'm upset because standing still is falling behind in the NBA.
That's what they're doing.
Right. So as we sit right now, do we have, while we're talking about all these draft picks and all this future, the reason we're doing this is to have a guy that's ready to make a deal, or at least have some deals in mind. And do we even trust the fact that if a deal is done, this guy, the guy that was involved in Sohan, the guy that was involved in Devin, the guy that was involved in other pieces that really, have been marginal successes at best. This is the guy that we want to make the $200 million deal, which could, by the end, we add in all the contracts, be? I don't know, but I'm starting to question as we get closer to this deadline, and I know what we got, and I know where we're trying to go. If nothing happens.
What was your point of demarcation? Everyone to the right of Keldon a year ago?
A year ago, it was,
Right. Okay, so the Wemby of it all changed everything. The Wemby of it all accelerated whatever your plan was, Brian, right? And you can't live in that plan. You know what I'm saying? And so I actually am at a place now where I feel badly for Keldon, for Devin, for Jeremy, for whoever, because the disparity between Wemby and anybody, to be very clear, is so vast. But because this is who you're outfitting your team with around him, you make them look bad by proxy. You make them look bad. No, I mean,
I get what you're saying. You're so much better that we see how bad you are.
Right, because the rebuild is now, your one foot is moving faster than the other for you. And so everyone can see that. And so, Perk can come out and say this, and I don't think anybody can disagree with him, right? I mean, is there a word of what Perk said that you find to be, fallible? No. And so you have to start now. You can't be cruising at 30 miles an hour on the highway anymore. The speed limit elevated when you got Wemby. And so you have to think quickly on your feet. You have to utilize every moment of roster building and construction that you can. I think in one sense, it is a failure to let the trade deadline go without any kind of adjustment. If you let a whole window of roster construction completely close shut without doing anything, in one sense, in a literal vacuum sense, it's a failure.
Without hesitation.
How could it not be? Because you're trying to elevate everything around Wemby. So if you even if it's not, at this point, I would take away, if you want to trade away Chetty. We talked about that yesterday. And I recognize how tiny that would be. It would be
right.
a little ploop in the pond that we're examining right now. But you have to take some step forward, whether that's accruing more assets or bringing in talent. You cannot just say, this is fine, we're going to reassess in the summer. You can't. That is 5 years from now, as far as we're concerned. You have to do something now.
I did find it interesting that, up until now, whenever we talked about the potential for free agency, it was always, it's a chance to come play for Pop. I mean, that was all we had. I mean, it was a chance when we were running for titles, it was a chance to come and win a title and play for
right.
Pop. Well, then, titles were gone. So now it became just a chance to play for Pop. And as much as we thought that mattered, it didn't mean squat. I mean, nobody, they came to play for Pop after the money value, the dollar amount was reached. And I get to play with Pop too. Fine. That's never been a draw. Never. LaMarcus came. It wasn't to play for Pop. It was to play with Tim. So now at least we have a legitimate reason to say, why would anybody come to San Antonio? It's to play for the future. We had to hang it on Pop. You get to play for a legend. Well, what does that mean? I got to do it. I got to be turned into DeMar DeRozan. I'm going to be turned into LaMarcus. No, I'll play elsewhere, please. So I think that at least as a Spurs fan, when I hear Perkins go here or tell me that he sees around the league, guys will consider coming to San Antonio if dollar values are equal or the circumstance is equal to come and play for a superstar who at least by Pop's design early has shown off the fact that he's a willing giver as far as a superstar. He's got a fair amount of LeBron. He will willingly hand you the spotlight if you're capable. And given that situation, it's perfect for Brian Wright. This is an ideal time for you. You've got money, you've got draft picks, and you've got a player that guys want to come play with. And the fact that you're going to probably be losing your head coach here pretty soon, isn't really weighing into this.
What's the justification for standing pat?
There is none.
So then you agree it's a failure if they don't do anything before next week.
Yes, it is. It begins what will be an abject fail. I will say that this is just the first part of a long test. I don't think the grade comes in until the end of free agency and the draft and everything in June for this year. This is just the first step for what we want to see at the beginning of the 24-25 season. So I'm not going to grade Brian Wright solely on the trade deadline right now and say if something doesn't happen, he needs to be fired. But what I will say is this is the first test of a long semester. You've got free agency, you've got draft, you've got another free agency period. You've got some time in here that with all these assets, we do expect to see some kind of movement because we've got 10 wins now. We ain't getting 30. We're going to be a bottom 5 team, and we're going to have a lot of ping pong balls. So you're going to have another draft piece to play with, more and more talent around there, and a huge bank account. So early returns ain't good, but at least you get a couple of tests to raise your grade point to keep the analogy alive.
I'm being dragged towards agreeing with this, but I mean, I guess I can. But I agree with this is a strike. To be very clear, the count's 0-1 if you let this go without doing anything. And yeah, you still have pitches to work with in that sense, but you have to find you. We can't just keep buying you time, man. We cannot just keep buying you time and keep accepting. Oh yeah, at some point they're going to want to come and play with Wemby. At some point, once Pop is done. At some point. The comment from Hidden Meadow Niner on the chat says, but when you have a whole bunch of role players, who's going to trade for them? Whose fault is it that they only have role players? I mean, like you're at the craft show trying to sell your stuff, and it's like you're the one who made it. You know what I mean? Like you want to sell things, like get better product. You know what I mean? Like you got to work. You got to get creative at this point in time. Like you cannot just expect that doing the same thing that you've been doing since the titles were coming in left and right is going to work out, because it's not. Like we have enough evidence to know that at this point in time. You are charged with being the dynasty that has to refine their way. It is not an easy thing to do, but you were given a gift in Wemby, and now you have to utilize it.
I will say in defense of Wright, and there's not a lot of things I find defensible for him, is at least we're not sitting around straddled with some really awful contract.
Sure.
Now, what I say that in defense because the expectation is if we're going to make any kind of deals coming up to this, one of the things you have to accept is you're going to bring in some dead wood. You're going to bring in a log or two. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is a deal made for Chetty or for McDermott or for some other role player. And you're right. But those are the kind of deals that get done right now. Superstars with bad contracts and role players get moved at the trade deadline. The role players helping teams that think they're close, and those that have decided it ain't happening this year are dumping dead wood and dead contracts. So, don't be surprised to see some kind of log show up and we think that's the answer. No, it's just an expiring contract, one that could be used as a further piece. So I will give him some credit as the deal does come up. We don't have any albatrosses hanging around our neck. Even our role player guys, the money they're getting ain't awful. They're movable deals, even like Keldon. Devin, those are movable deals. Yes. But it's not a deal that you're stuck with that nobody will take.
The bar is so low, Rob. I mean, so low. Throw any kind of chum in these waters and we will throw you a party. We will get a pizza party up in here if you do literally anything. I mean, like you said it, you've got 10 wins. You got to give us something to hang our hat on, something to feel moderately good about. It can be anything. Again, we're just asking for a pulse of an indication that sunnier days are ahead.
We talk silver and black every day at 7:00, and
is that not reality?
Well,
I mean,
it is.
The bar is that low. I mean, it is.
But
right now, they lost to the Wizards. They blew a huge lead to the Wizards. The bar is on the ground.
The Magic are they're not a template per se, but they have been pretty diligent in putting together a young team and finding different pieces and parts. And, the crown jewel was getting Paolo Banchero last year. The guy just stepped into the league and was an immediate NBA player, all-star caliber, not, as far as any rookie has been in the last several years, and lots of guys around him. But recently they've kind of run into the, mid-season, we're not deep and we're going to lose some games kind of situation as they are 24-23 sitting at 500. The Spurs coming in with just the 10 wins. And now, as we had hoped to see a 4-win homestand, that doesn't look like that's going to happen unless some kind of miracle occurs. Another Minnesota game arrives. And to get there, they're going to have to get something tonight. The first things first kind of approach to this is win the basketball game tonight, doing things that you do well. And we saw that for 3 3/4 quarters the other night. We saw a very well-played basketball game as far as the way the Spurs controlled the tempo, the way that Blake Wesley came off the bench and did exactly what we want. And as we get close to the trade deadline, RJ, I'll say this. I don't think there's a pressing need to go get a point guard just yet. I'd like to have one. But I like what I'm seeing in the growth of Wesley and Trey Jones. I think we're only going to win 4, 5, 6, 7 more games to close this season out. There ain't that many left. I ain't chasing a bunch of wins. And if we're not going to get the wins, those two guys I'd feel comfortable with. But as we get closer to the trade deadline, I do think that we need to be, as you're putting it, out there. If we're not doing something, we're falling behind. And I'm not going to be upset with any kind of move other than you
ever, when your boys were younger and you went to a family or a friend's wedding or quinceañera or something, at any point ever, did you ever tell one of them, go get on the dance floor? Just go dance to one song, and they were like, no, we don't want to. And you're like, come on, just one song, go out there. And they did. And you swelled with pride. That ever happened?
Yeah, of course. Well, it wasn't about go ask the girl to dance. Go ask.
Well, I mean, and they did, right?
Yeah.
And when it happened, it was like, this is awesome.
Yeah,
right?
you did it.
One song.
Right. And it doesn't have to be a long-term love affair, man. It just needs to be, show me you can do it.
I don't need you to this. We don't need, Lieutenant Colonel Slater in Scent of a Woman, like, blindly, pulling off this incredible tango. Cupid Shuffle, like something that literally tells you what to do in the song. Like, just get on the floor, just get some kinetic energy moving. Again, our expectations are as low as they could possibly be.
That's
Rob's
where we're
got
at.
The camera out. He's going to record the whole thing.
Yeah, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Doesn't have to be long term. Just prove to me that you can get it done. And we're filming every second of it, Mr. Wright.
Hi. I'll wave.
Watch your hand. Hey, coming back, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys is in Alabama. Mobile, to be precise, as the Senior Bowl is in play. It is where all the minds meet prior to the draft, and we're going to hear from Jerry as he talks about his current and maybe future quarterback, Dak Prescott. Jerry on his quarterback and many other things coming up next as we continue the ongoing saga of the offseason of the Dallas Cowboys. He's RJ Ochoa. He's the managing editor of Blogging the Boys. I'm Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You're all set with your Medicare prescriptions, Mrs. Brown.
This is not just low-cost copays at Walgreens.
I can actually help you set up 90-day refills if you want.
This is having a partner you can trust. Get low-cost copays, 90-day refills, and delivery from your neighborhood Walgreens. This is being independent. Together. Walgreens.
Restrictions apply. For details, see walgreens.com/pharmacy.
Get the appliances you need right away at Lowe's. Explore the largest assortment of brands you trust, like Whirlpool, Samsung, and LG, in-store or online at the best values.
Plus, take advantage of our everyday financing offers on top items, from refrigerators to laundry pairs. And there's more. Get your new appliances delivered or installed quickly at your convenience. Because Lowe's knows appliances. Lowe's knows home improvement. Subject to credit approval.
Nothing says I love you like romantic, timeless jewelry. Even better when you can save an extra 20%. Right now at Diamonds Direct, all fashion favorite jewelry is 20% off. That's earrings, bracelets, pendants, bands, colored gemstone jewelry. Get 20% off Diamonds Direct's already unbeatable prices. Special financing too. Get her something she can enjoy and appreciate for years to come. A fashion favorite from Diamonds Direct. Shop in-store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. QC Kinetics patient Robert Patterson, a veteran and business owner, struggled at work and in the gym with chronic agonizing shoulder pain.
Those injuries just continue to nag, and if you don't treat them, they just get worse. And I just kind of abused my body for a long time, and it finally had said enough is enough.
That's okay, because QC Kinetics tells your pain, hey, enough is enough. Their regenerative treatments bring you relief by helping restore and repair damaged tissue with no drugs, no downtime, and best of all, no surgery.
I was able to exceed the goals that I had previously attained in the gym. It was absolutely worth its weight in gold, so I could continue to live life without limitation.
Ready to get lasting relief from your joint pain? Call QC Kinetics to learn more about how natural biologic treatments can get you lasting results. Call now. It's a free consultation.
210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318.
This is Rob Thompson. I'm here with my brother, Jason, a practicing attorney in San Antonio for 30 years. Jason, what does that mean?
What it means is I've been representing people and families here in San Antonio injured in auto, truck, motorcycle collisions, serious injury, death accidents, taking those families and helping them through some of the worst times of their life. I've been practicing law in San Antonio for so long. I remember when the Cowboys were champions.
Seriously.
And a great staff that handles kind of the blocking and tackling of what it takes to represent clients. There are so many phone calls that need to be made, so many connections you have to have between insurance companies, physicians, opposing lawyers, relationships that you build over 30 years with adjusters, with insurance companies, with defense attorneys, with local judges. When I represent a client, they know that I'm lending my name, my reputation built on 30 years of experience to that client to get them justice.
It's Jason Thompson, alawyer4us.com. Call him at 210-900-0400, alawyer4us.com.
This is Jim Rome. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, United Hallmark, San Antonio.
Welcome back. Welcome to Wednesday. You made it. That's RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson. The boys, Jared, Steven, and crew are in Mobile, Alabama for the Senior Bowl. How many quarterbacks? Do you think quarterbacks are on the list?
I mean, that all depends on, I don't want to ride the fence, but what they do with Dak Prescott. If they extend him, then no. But if they don't, if they just restructure him, then yeah, you might be taking one on day two.
Trey Lance play into this?
So the Trey Lance contractual situation, for anyone who's curious, this offseason, the Cowboys have to decide if they want to pick up his fifth-year option. Ooh. They probably will not, because it will be very expensive, because he's a former first-round draft pick. So that means that this will be a contract year in all likelihood for Trey Lance.
So a contract year for Trey Lance, the third string odds on.
Probably second. I mean, like,
string.
There's an argument to be made. They can save a teeny bit of salary cap space by cutting Cooper Rush. Mm-hmm. There's an argument to be made that you might as well just do it and let Trey be QB2 for you. You know what I'm saying?
This is Jerry talking about his quarterback, MVP candidate, and Pro Bowler.
As it would turn out, without saying, as it turned out, our plan is you have to look holistically at the entire roster at this time, because we've got some key players that are going to automatically move up into arguably the top three paid players on the team. And so, as you well know, in the NFL, 10 or 11 players make 70% of the money. And so when you address a contract, whether it be Dax or whether it be Pollards or whether it be Lambs, when you address a contract, you distort the picture. The picture is holistic, and you have to look at the entire landscape. In most cases, you can't fit it all in. There's not room. And so you have to make adjustments. You do that as you move along. And so that's where we are. We've
making
got
adjustments and moving along.
We will be working on. When you ask me about a specific contract, you do so usually because it's out of contract. You got to address just as much the contracts you got and the adjustment in those contracts. You have to adjust people that you don't even know you have. And then you have to certainly adjust the ones that are out of contract or have imminent.
All right, we're getting lost in the weeds, Jerry. Okay, Dak.
Notice how he made everything Dak and Micah and CeeDee's fault, right? Oh, they're going to make all the money. So, and by the way, so Jerry, just to be very clear, of literally all the money, they're getting 70%. Y'all ain't getting diddly squat. You need to be very clear that they're getting that much percentage of the salary cap, which is a fraction of the overall money. Let's be very clear. Now, I'm not saying NFL players are, not making a lot of money, but I mean,
what is it? 52% of the gross context. It's 52%, right? Right up there. 51.5.
I'm just saying, like, of all net profits, what the team, what the players or the roster's making is,
Yeah, he's making money again. If Jerry would have come out yesterday and said he's going to play his contract here and he's going to have to prove it, I'm not sure. I was, but after what I've witnessed, love him, but I'm not sure. In so many words, would that give you a glimmer of hope?
I'm a big believer in Dak Prescott, and
so the Dak issue Twitter, isn't the problem.
Well, my Twitter mentions are filled with discourse because of that almost on a daily basis.
Right.
That being said, as much as I believe in Dak, I would support that. I would support some sort of, you got to ruffle some feathers at this point. I mean, you've got to do something a little bit differently. If you want to be a hard ass like that, fine. I mean, I'm not down with it, so to speak, but I'm down with shuffling the deck, and that's what you have to do right now. And you can make an argument, certainly, that would maybe upset your locker room because he's the leader of it, and everybody would feel like, well, if they're not going to take care of Dak, are they going to take care of me? I think you have to make peace with that. I mean, you're at a place where you've got to try something differently. That doesn't mean you throw all logic and reason out the window, but I would have been okay with that.
Back in 2008, I was in Orlando, Florida. I had a neighbor that was an engineer. He had come to work for the Siemens Corporation and had bought a house way out of his price range. But it was back. Okay. Remember, that was the balloon mortgages. You could didn't take a whole lot to get a lot of house. And this kid had come in, recent graduate, bought a big old house and lost his job. And he was committed to the house, had a mortgage and all that. And after a couple of months, I saw a U-Haul out in front of their house. I was like, dude, I hate to see you go. And he was like, man, I'm putting the keys in the mailbox and leaving. I can't sell the house. I'm stuck with this. I'm declaring bankruptcy, man. I'm leaving. So if anybody comes knocking on the doors, tell them the keys in the mailbox. There's nothing I can do. He's burning it down and starting over. And if Jerry was saying, hey, man, Dak's keys are in the mailbox, man, I'm stuck. And the only way I can get myself out of this is to literally just abandon it and pay the price down the road. If he'd have come out and told me that, Jerry, I look at you in a brand new light. Like, look, I get next year. I get he's going to have to be back. I get it. And I get McCarthy too. If you're going to bring one back, bring them both back. But tell me that they're earning it. And the only way we ever see them again is they pass whatever bar you put in front of them, and it better be NFC Championship game. It better be that or Super Bowl. And if it's not that, burn the house down, pay the fee, pay the fine, go bankrupt, start over. I think we're all done. And he's still standing on the sideline equivocating.
That's what I'm saying. I would support, if you want to put some sort of hard line in the sand, everyone kind of needs it. at this point. Yes. And again, I want to stress, there's nothing you can do. However, whoever you are feels, there's nothing that can happen that is going to completely line up in a direction that makes you feel good every step of the way. If you're somebody that still believes in Dak and Mike McCarthy, there are some things that are going to happen this offseason that are going to ruffle your feathers. If you're somebody that only believes in one of them, there are some things that are going to happen this offseason that are going to ruffle your feathers. If you're somebody who doesn't believe in either of them, if you're like Rob, you want the keys in the mailbox and you just want to burn it all down, there are things that are going to happen this offseason that are going to upset you. It's the nature of the way things are from a financial standpoint, from a salary cap standpoint, from a contractual standpoint, from a timeline standpoint. They have their hands in various kind of, areas that nothing is completely parallel. And so that's why, I said this on our roundtable at Blog on the Boys last night. The more I've thought about it, is we've kind of calmed down just a teeny bit because I'm still pretty pissed off. I do think that keeping Mike McCarthy was probably the riskiest decision that they could have made. And I know that, causes and incites eye rolling because people say, what do you mean? Because it's the best shot at winning a Super Bowl. It really is. And I don't say that to say that Mike McCarthy
the best shot of winning a Super Bowl is keeping McCarthy.
Yeah.
Also, it's a non-risky decision.
No, because that's the most. Jerry said on Tuesday that they were all in on 2024. Yeah, so
whatever the hell that means. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm defining it. So defining all in to me and willing to take some risks, willing to, swing at the last pitch, whatever, because we're trying to do this all now, right? Defining it to be the sun is not coming up on us potentially. I mean, I'm not saying that I think that Mike McCarthy is a better head coach than whoever it may be, but if you take him out now and you bring someone in, you almost assure that you're fighting enough history relative to your own franchise. And so now you're fighting the history of a first-year coach. Yeah. This is truly trying to get the most, there's just a little bit of toothpaste left and you're rolling it, you know what I mean? And rolling. You just need enough for one last brush before you go back to the store. And so that's what they're trying to do. And so if you're going to go down that path, and it makes some sense to do that, although it is something that pisses us off, then you've got to bring Dak Prescott back. There are
only a year, but just the year, right? We're not talking about anything other than 24-25.
It depends how you feel about Dak. I'm a believer in Dak, and I know that the chat is not obviously in on that, and that's fine. We're all allowed to have different opinions, but we are talking about the quarterback who finished second in the All-Pro. And a big gripe I have, not a grievance, a gripe, is people who say, well, he's a great regular season. Do you know how hard it is to be great in the regular season is 4 months long?
But we're
just like, I know we don't care, but to act like that is meaningless is also an overreaction. It is not ultimately what matters the most. I agree with that. But to act like, it's worthless is an overreaction is my only point. And so that being said, we're talking a week from tomorrow, Dak Prescott is going to objectively finish second in MVP voting. I know that they got boat race in the playoffs. I know he was a big reason why. Again, he's the second team All-Pro. So this presentation that he is trash is ridiculous. I mean, there are a lot of teams who would line up for the opportunity to pay Dak Prescott an NFL record deal to make him the highest paid player ever in league history. So it would not be the dumbest thing in the world to extend him. However, it does make sense to want to get back on the same timeline with your head coach and your quarterback, given Dak's age. And so you might just have to accept that it's not going to happen if it doesn't happen in 2024. So this really comes down to how much you believe in him individually. And I don't fault people for not believing in Dak. It's been almost a decade and he hasn't gotten it done. So while there are objectively good things he has done, he has not done the one thing, and it's fair to criticize him for that.
The idea of re-signing him seems, I don't know what he's going to have to do not to be re-signed is what I think we're getting at, right? I mean, he's going to be re-signed. I think Jerry doesn't want to say it to us because we're all mad.
I think that they could say we're just going to restructure him. We're just going to free up the salary cap space. And that would be as loud of an indicator as that they could offer that they're going to move on in 2025. Now, the one risk associated with that, if you define this to be a risk, I do, is that they play really well. they win the Super Bowl, and then he is truly on the open market. You can't stop him from hitting the open market. But again, you won the Super Bowl, so, whatever. If he leaves, I mean, okay, the clock started again to see in another 30 years. You know what I mean? But that's probably not going to happen, right? Just even if you think the Cowboys are good, it's probably not going to happen because it's really, really, really hard to win the Super Bowl. And so it kind of works out to where you set Dak and McCarthy up to be the fall guys together.
Hey, coming up, we're going to hear from local coach Jeff Traylor. Been a lot of tough news lately. Some good news around the UTSA Roadrunner Ranch as one of our team favorites, one of those OG guys, the guy that has two of the most important catches, I think, in UTSA history, is coming back for another year. We're going to hear from him and head coach Jeff Traylor as this summer of improvement and the next chapter beginning is going on right now. Let's talk some Roadrunner and college football next. And, by the way, we'll hear some Deion Sanders as well. That's always fun. We'll be right back. He's sitting comfortably, and I'm getting a little warm. This is Rob and RJ here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, it's Wednesday, so you know what that means. Hope Day! Get ready to hear that all afternoon. Plus, we'll talk with Clarence Hill Jr. about what Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones had to say yesterday.
Are they really going all in? We'll talk about that. The Blitz at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
O'Reilly. You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Now is the best time to buy a Connecticut water softener. With current models being closed out to make way for the new ones, you can save big. Call Connecticut at 656-PURE and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you. That's 656-PURE.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson here for SA Card House. Over there on San Pedro, you know where it is, 13400 San Pedro right there at Bitters. One of my favorite places to go for a lot of reasons. It's not just about the restaurant and the bar, which is a reason to be. It's not just about the atmosphere and the great games and all the prizes that go along with being a San Antonio Card House member. It's a vibe. It's a thing that you get. Whether you're a brand new player, they have brand new classes for you to get you interested in playing, to teach you how to play the game. They got great membership rates. They've got food to serve at great atmosphere while you're playing, or if you just bring your friends and family to play. But it's an atmosphere of success and fun, and that's why I go to SA Card House, and that's why you need to give them a try. Go check out their website, sacardhouse.com, but you're not going to know until you go. It's a private social club waiting for you to come and play. It's at Bitters in San Pedro. It is my SA Card House. Head there today. Thank me later. This is Rob Thompson. I'm here with my brother, Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com.
I'm a lawyer for you. I've helped you.
Yes, he has, and many others here in San Antonio. And that's why I'm so glad I get a chance to talk to you today about what happens when you get into an accident.
It's overwhelming for everybody involved. You have this paralysis of what to do next, who to talk to, how do you get medical care, or you're in the hospital and who's going to pay for this? It's this swirl of anxiety, and many times it's even worse than the injury itself. You have to help people through that situation. And I tell every client the same thing. Don't worry. I've got this. I will take care of this. Just worry about your family. Just worry about getting healthy. If I can do that for you and maximize your recovery, you stay in business, you keep clients. And for 30 years, I've kept every client I've ever had. I don't lose clients. I represent their family and friends because that's how seriously I take my job.
a lawyerforus.com. You can find him at 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The Australian Pink Floyd Show. First Class Traveling Set World Tour 2024. August 22nd, Boeing Center at Techport. Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at livenation.com. The Australian Pink Floyd Show.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Super Bowl 58 in Vegas is set. It's the Chiefs and Niners. Hear it right here on your exclusive home for the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back to 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. Dr. Jason Garrett's going to join us about 8:45 as we look at the injury around our favorite teams and sports. Always a pleasure to catch up with Dr. Garrett as we're about 10 days out from the Super Bowl. We'll see who needs a little R&R and who's going to be ready to go. The UTSA Roadrunners are, in this ongoing quest to run with the big dogs. Success on the field has been, remarkable in every way.
Right.
But now, to run with the big dogs, you got to be funded like they are. And we've seen what Frank Harris has done. He's now left and is going to be VP over one of those consortiums, one of those money-making groups. And what a perfect face to take him that direction. And when you look at this generation of UTSA Roadrunners, who really are going to be looked back when we look at the history, when they finally hang that national championship banner there at their beautiful new I was going to say Greehey Stadium. That hasn't quite been built, or the Valero Stadium, whatever we want to have built out there for them to play in. We'll look back at this generation, and Oscar Cardenas is going to be one of those guys that's going to live in legend. I mean, 2 catches that have mattered, a guy that really has just epitomized what the UTSA program has been. Guy from around here, a guy who really wasn't expected to be what he's been. And every time he was given an opportunity, he succeeded. And he's coming back. That means a lot to the program. And the talent is one thing. The talent on Saturdays, it matters to have an Oscar Cardenas running around on the field. But what that means to the lineage of the UTSA Roadrunner football program, because those guys that are going to be around him for one more year, they're going to learn and get what he got. And they're going to take it with him for the next guy that comes down. These are the little things, those building blocks in a major program that don't get noticed, that don't get talked about by guys like, the alumni and the students. You don't really pay attention that, Cardenas is coming back. You go, oh, well, that's too bad. I thought he might play pro. No, what matters here is the guy is going to impart and be who Oscar Cardenas has been, along with those other guys that have built the platform, the basis for what this program is going to be. It matters when I see things like this. And when I call out alumni about when you get that letter in the mail, you got to write the check.
It is nice to get these kind of wins, right? I think we saw yesterday in the NFL, Ben Johnson returning to the Detroit Lions, kind of a similar sort of thing, right? Like, it's not the kind of thing that happens to the Detroit Lions, and you've got to crawl through sludge to get to that point, right? Where these sort of strokes of luck that seem to happen to other teams or programs or whatever the case may be start happening to you. You start to kind of, catch the right side of the coin. And it seems like that's what this is. It's the beginning of, and there's a lot of work and a lot of sacrifice and a lot of luck, frankly, that goes in to something like this one thing being possible, right? Like you have to literally change a program. And there have been a lot of points in the last, few years that I think are representative of what UTSA has gone through. But this is kind of it, right? Like it's all for, I don't mean to just say this moment, but these moments, when you stack these moments together over a decade, the decade to come, they're the difference between you and, West Lafayette, whoever.
I appreciate the stacking these moments. It does matter. This is Oscar talking about coming back.
I'll brag on Oscar and his family for
this
that.
is Coach Trey talking about.
Oscar's never one time walked in and asked for a dime. He's never leveraged. He's never squeezed. But as a coach, I feel better knowing that he's getting something, just something, for what he's giving back to the city. And but to his family's credit, kids never one time walked in and played that card. And he might have the biggest plays other than Frank Harris in the history of our school. And the human that he is, he's homegrown. He's like Frank. He's like Spencer. We're thrilled to have him back. All of our old heads are kind of gone, so it's good to have Oscar kind of leading that way.
The old head drain as you grow a program. Now, did you catch what he said to start there? Never asked for a dime. That sounds like Coach Traylor's a little bit tired of having to put up with
said
this.
He didn't say this, but it's almost like he said he didn't ask, but I'm tired of asking.
But yeah, I'm tired of asking you folks for the money. And having Frank Harris in front of that one and the other ones that have kind of popped up over the days, it does matter. Now there will be the ongoing under subterfuge of the different organizations fighting each other.
The dimes are necessary. I mean, that's the reality of the world. And I know that bothers some people, but you've got to have those dimes. And without them, you're bringing a knife to a bazooka fight. You know what I mean? Like, it's welcome to college football.
Yeah, here we go. And this one was an interesting year. And, Jeff was interviewed by several places and probably, but for his buyout would have been someplace else. Probably coaching in Houston. Hey, coming back in the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to start with Stephen Jones. He says he understands Cowboy fans being upset. Do you really think, honestly, do you really think that Jerry and Stephen get the fans, for lack of a better word, the zeitgeist of the fandom, the general sense of anger that is out there? Because I feel it at every corner. Cowboy fan is sick and tired. Do you think he gets it?
I'm going to limit my answer right now to no. But it's, I hate when people say, I know, like when you're really sick and you're like, I'm dealing with this. And like, I know, you don't know.
Right.
This is
far worse than you've ever dealt with.
Yeah. So you have zero idea, Stephen. But I'm sure that, maybe that your flight to Mobile didn't have the full outfit of entrees you were looking for. So maybe you get it. I mean, maybe we really do park our cars in the same garage.
Keep in mind, they travel in separate planes to protect the brain trust. Does Steven and Jerry, do you think they truly get it? How bad Cowboy fan feels today? Because the sense I'm getting is there's an anger level that we haven't seen since around the early Parcell years, when we were still close enough to a title where we knew things were bad. Now I think we've been so far away, it's finally hit us that this has been way too bad for way too long. Does Steven get it? And can they right the ship in Mobile as they look at all the seniors? We're talking NFL with the Cowboys. The gumble is hot around the league as we prepare for Las Vegas. And the Spurs are hosting the Magic. So much to do. We better get ourselves hydrated. We'll be right back. It's 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Living in pain, it will slow you down in so many different ways that after a while, you don't even realize it. If you just immediately say no to a day on your feet because you know the pain the next day is not going to be worth the effort. If you just immediately say, no, I'm not going to do that because, well, you can make an excuse, but you know that the pain involved with doing that activity is just not worth the effort. If you've come to that point, listen to me, you don't have to live like that. Arasti is here to fix those problems. Arasti providers are trained to do one thing, and that is to get you out of pain. This is a designation in Arasti that is above and beyond just your general practitioner, chiropractic, physical therapy thing. It is achieved by those that already have those things. If you're an Arasti provider, you have the expertise in so many different fields to fix the painful problems that people have that there's no other better place to go. They're all around San Antonio. They're easy to find. If you go to Arasti.com, they got a map of all the providers. New ones are being certified, graduating all the time. Make sure you're checking. I bet there's one less than 10 minutes from where you are right now. Write this number down, 1-800-404-6050, 404-6050. You can call that number. It's toll free, and they'll get you all set up. And remember, you don't even need a referral to make that call. They'll go ahead and make the appointment for you. When you walk into an Arasti provider, they're going to find out what the problem is and fix the problem. The reason I bring that up is a lot of times the problem that manifests pain in different places. I had lower back issues. I always thought it was my back. It was my hamstrings. They fixed the problem. The pain went away. That's why I love Arasti. They do it, and they do it very well. Listen to me close. Don't let pain keep you from doing things that you love. Arasti is here to fix you. Call them today, and I know you're going to be thanking me later.
The Sports Star Boys are headed to Vegas for the big game.
Remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
This Monday, Robin, RJ, and Jason and Joe are heading to Sin City and Radio Row for the big game with security provided by AA Best Bail Bonds.
Let's go to Vegas. We'll all get drunk and
Woo!
think you gonna get away with it. Not up in here. Not up in here.
Powered by AA Best Bail Bonds, Synergenics, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bond, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
It's the Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rind Appreciation Day celebration. Enter to win $5,000 cash, tailgating prizes, plus Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds when you pass the pigskin. Enter at porkrindappreciationday.com. That's porkrindappreciationday.com. And make sure to pick up the protein-packed, bold flavors of Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds today at HEB.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go, shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hi, my name is Alani. A little thing I like about the Spicy Deluxe sandwich is that you taste the crunch, you taste the pepper jack cheese melting, and you taste the spicy flavors in the sandwich. I'm telling you, 10 out of 10.
Hi, my name's Enrique. A little thing I love about Chick-fil-A's Spicy Deluxe sandwich is you get that rich flavor of the chicken and definitely that nice, tangy, warm bite. It's the perfect harmony of spiciness and taste.
Order the Spicy Deluxe sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
This is Rob Thompson. I'm here with my brother, Jason, a practicing attorney in San Antonio for 30 years. Jason, what does that mean?
What it means is I've been representing people and families here in San Antonio injured in auto, truck, motorcycle collisions, serious injury, death accidents, taking those families and helping them through some of the worst times of their life. I've been practicing law in San Antonio for so long. I remember when the Cowboys were champions.
Seriously.
And a great staff that handles kind of the blocking and tackling of what it takes to represent clients. There are so many phone calls that need to be made, so many connections you have to have between insurance companies, physicians, opposing lawyers, relationships that you build over 30 years with adjusters, with insurance companies, with defense attorneys, with local judges. When I represent a client, they know that I'm lending my name, my reputation built on 30 years of experience to that client to get them justice.
It's Jason Thompson, alawyerforus.com. Call him at 210-900-0400, alawyerforus.com.
This is Jim Rome. Have a take, don't suck on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Around the NFL, 3 more Dallas Cowboys are headed to Orlando for the Pro Bowl. Jake Ferguson, Tyler Smith, and DeMarcus Lawrence are going to be replacements for George Kittle, Nick Bosa, who are going to be busy this weekend. And Zach Martin, well, he's just going to take the weekend off. Dak Prescott could go, but won't. He'll hang around as he awaits the birth of his first child. Baker Mayfield will be taking his place.
This is R&R in the morning.
Man in motion, handoff, Pollard coming right. Bang, zoom, touchdown Cowboys. Right to Yama, about 3 feet behind the line. Got it.
It's R&R in the morning with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning to you. He's RJ Ochoa, managing editor of the Blogging the Boys. I'm Rob Thompson. We thank you so much for joining us. It is Wednesday. You're midway through, and so are we. Enjoying that hump day. Don't mind them brake lights. We'll take you places you need to be. We're going to hear from Stephen and Jerry this week, or today, as they're spending the week in Mobile, Alabama for the Senior Bowl. Lots of words coming out of there. I'm not sure a lot of meaning. We are going to talk about what the Cowboys need to do to kind of bring the fandom back. And we're going to hear from Jerry and Steven talking about the fact that I guess they think they get it. I'm not sure they do. I'm not sure they understand. They fully grasp the anger of Cowboy fan right now. Just the outright, the collective we, are angry. We'll look at the gumbo that is the NFL as some coaches decided to stay. Injuries that are going to play a role coming up this weekend will also be discussed, and Dr. Jason Garrett of Arasti will be here to do just that. I put this question to you as we went to break, RJ. Does Stephen Jones in his ivory star tower, does the Jones family truly get the fact that Cowboy fan is about done, about over with the off-season turmoil after a sudden and horrible collapse? We're going to have to fix something. You have to do something to show us that money isn't the only thing we're here for.
You a Friday Night Lights fan?
Clear eyes and full hearts. Can't lose.
Do you remember, I forget his first name in the show, but his nickname was Voodoo Tatum.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember when Voodoo was talking to Coach Taylor and not Coach Taylor, who we were just talking about, but Coach Taylor, and Coach was really mad because Voodoo was kind of freelancing, doing his own thing, and said, you better chill out, whatever, we're going to bench you. And Voodoo was kind of like, you're not going to bench me. He said, let's just get this straight. We're an arranged marriage, right? We both have a goal in mind. Mine's to get to college, yours to win a state title. We're here to help each other out, kind of thing. And I think that Cowboys fans and the Joneses are finally both admitting reality to themselves. It's a shared
You think
reality.
they're getting it?
But not in the way I think you're thinking.
Oh, okay.
I think that we're all, and we'll put the Joneses in this box, we're all accepting that we, as the fans, we're not going anywhere, right? We can throw out these empty threats. We can say, I'm going to stop watching. I'm going to stop buying merchandise. And maybe whoever you are going to stop buying jerseys and T-shirts and hats or whatever, but you have enough to last 10 lifetimes as it is, right? So they've already gotten more than what they can from you. They're not counting on you. And the Joneses, I think they know that. I think they're saying, hey, man, we understand that we're just kind of the circus that rolls into town on your primetime national television slot every Sunday in the fall. And if we win the Super Bowl by coincidence, great. But we all understand the arranged marriage here. We're here to entertain you. And if we do more than that, great. Icing on top of the cake. But I think we've all come to terms with the reality. Nobody likes it. We have the least amount of control, but we're all accepting of it, if that makes sense.
So they are the Dallas Cowboys are the unknown singer.
We have established a championship program. It's just not the world championship yet.
In the sports entertainment world, that really there's nothing there. It's kind of interesting to watch for a little while, but at the end, I don't care who's behind the mask. It was just something to watch during the regular season before the season finales of my favorite shows come on in January and February. Is that what?
That's a really great way to put it, actually. And Yeah, it's wow, that was
it filled my 30 minutes. Okay, I don't feel utterly like wasted. The NFL is chewing gum. It's a well-flavored chewing gum. That's what the Cowboys are. It tastes good for about 12, 14 weeks, and then
when September rolls around, Rob, we're gonna all be in the same fantasy football leagues. We're gonna do the same survivor pools. We're gonna play the same props. We're going to all give the same amount of actual attention. Maybe your emotional attention will be a little bit, dwindled for obvious reasons. But as far as the formality of it all, we're going to do the same song and dance. And we all know that. We have all accepted it. We all understand, like you said, we're sitting on the couch. Time for Masked Singer. Countdown's on. Might as well enjoy the show.
And as soon as it's over, I will turn the channel and no longer think of the unknown singer until it shows up next Thursday or whatever, next Sunday at 3:00. What else am I going to do? I'll watch the Cowboys. I'll complain about it, but there is this sense of creeping malaise I get from Cowboy fan. Like, all right, man, you better do something or I'm going to slowly check out. There's this attrition.
No one's checking
out. No one's
really
checking out immediately. Nobody's going to turn off the TV. But what will happen is, let's just say your season ticket holder will go, you know what? I'm going to sell those tickets this year. Last year I kept them.
How many people would line up to buy that?
Right.
If so that's what I'm saying. Like the status quo isn't changing. Maybe there's a teeny bit of shuffling. But have you ever let go of a passion of anything? Not even sports.
But it has slowly died for me. What I'm afraid of, and what Jerry and Steven should be afraid of, is the slow, lingering death where, you don't turn off the Cowboys, but when it comes time where you normally would have bought a new jersey, I ain't going to buy a new jersey. And, this Sunday, the Cowboys have the Giants at a 3:00 game, but the wife, it's been a couple of weeks. I'm going to go spend Sunday out because, I'm a Cowboy fan, but not like I used to be. I used to really care. And I know so many Cowboy fans that used to really care. And now they're kind of like, oh, yeah, Dak, Jerry. Yeah. Well, another year. And I think that's the concern, this slow degrading of a rather rabid populace to just not so much indifference, because you're right. Season ticket holders could sell every ticket they have and never go again and make money, be fine. Those tickets will always be bought. People will always go to the circus, but when the circus is over and it leaves town, we're not going to think about the circus like we used to.
It's too big of a part of our culture to just say you're going to abandon it. You just can't. Like, Rob, you don't even know what life looks like outside of your house on a Sunday afternoon in November. Nobody does. It might be dark for all I know. I mean, I've never been outside of my home on a Sunday in November because of the NFL. And that's the thing. It may not even be the Cowboys. You know what the biggest kind of adjustment somebody might make is, you know what? I'm sick of watching the Cowboys. I'm just going to watch the Red Zone channel instead. That's
it. That's exactly where I'm headed. And that's why we won't know the indifference, but it's there.
Nobody will be impacted. And I don't mean to just be Eeyore pessimistic, pure rain clouds, but they know that. And I think that they know that they can't do anything or say anything to change this. They know that I think that they know how badly they failed. And I think that they do feel badly about it, but it's
not that bad.
Not that bad, but the reality of the circumstance, the reality of the situation is they lived up to every meme. They lived up to every joke. Anything that your aunt or uncle or cousin or whoever you break bread with at holidays has told you and made fun of you for being a Cowboys fan about, they made sure to rip open that scab and pour salt into that wound and give that person ammunition for the years to come.
Well,
there's nothing that anybody that can say that can defend them.
Well, they've lived up to every meme, except for the meme that we want them to live up to, and that is we just see Jerry as an oil man, a wheeler dealer. You need something, I'm gonna go get it no matter the cost, because I'm all about winning. That ain't it. But if that was the case, am I crazy to think that there are some opportunities that they could do, whether they care long term about Super Bowls or not, that would at least like, look what I brung you kind of thing? Is it outlandish to think that, like, making a deal for Saquon Barkley, like, I'm gonna go get you a dude. Now that might be all I do, but I'm gonna go get you that dude and sit down and shut up.
Like Derrick Henry, Saquon is slated to be a free agent. So we're sitting, we said a little while ago, man, Brian Wright, make any trade, dude, and we'll celebrate. And you know why we will? I mean, the bar is low and we're sad as Spurs fans, but I mean, there's a whole lot to be happy about as a Spurs fan in relatively recent history,
right?
Certainly compared to the Cowboys, right? Like they've earned the right to suck for a decade if that's ultimately what this ultimately winds up being. The Cowboys, on the other hand, though, I mean, it's that indecision from a front office standpoint, that unwillingness to make a splash, which is why things like the LaMarcus signing a few years back, feel so incredible, right? Because you're thinking, wow, my team, we're the ones who are doing this crazy, wild sort of thing. The Cowboys aren't that way. And you talked about the meme and the rhetoric and whatever. People think that Jerry is still the dude who signed Deion Sanders, who traded for Joey Gallo, or who went all in on Joey Gallo, who traded for Roy Williams. I mean, that has not been them for a very, 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 very long time. And if they act that way in the offseason, then maybe they start to rope a few people back. But there's still the just undeniable negativity that they can do all these things. They can have all these records. They can have all these accomplishments in the regular season. But when it comes time to ultimately put up or shut up, they will shut up, and they will shut up very, very, very quickly and very, very, very loudly.
This is Marcus Spears saying what he believes Jerry has to show him to see if they're all in.
Jerry likes to talk. This is the most beautiful time to talk because it keeps the Cowboys in the headlines, and we are going to talk about it. But here's the deal. Show me. I need him to be from Missouri this offseason. If you all in on the Super Bowl, get Dak locked up so you can free up cap money. Get CeeDee Lamb locked up so you can free up cap money. If you want to prove to me and this fan base that you're all in to try to win a Super Bowl, some of them names need to come off that damn list and be down here in Frisco getting ready to practice at the Star.
That goodwill that Jerry kind of brought back to the Star when he put Jimmy in is about to get burned up for all those guys that have been kind of taken up for him. I get this sense that Jerry and Steven, even though they don't need to get it, because why should they? They're going to continue making money, and they're going to continue being the most watched franchise, regardless whether it's haters or lovers. They're still watching. But I just don't. Marcus Sense kind of he represents me and everybody I know. I'm beyond upset. I'm mad. I'm furious that you just don't give a crap, and you don't give a crap that I'm mad. You don't care.
It's right now. I don't know the solution, and because even what he said, if they take care of Dak, that's not solving everything. He's and some of that's just the nature of the beast. He's a divisive figure. If you take care of Dak, there's a lot of people who would support that, but there's a lot of people who are going to be really angry. And you do risk perpetuating this into the next head coach's tenure if it isn't Mike McCarthy in 2025. And the CD thing, I think, is a really good example of something that would impress me, because CD is obviously set to enter the final year of his contract, which would be an objectively horrible idea.
Right.
And he needs a new deal. And if you give him a new deal, you can massage his cap number for 2024 down. That is a good thing as far as the all-in proposition of this upcoming season. But, all these salary cap experts, which I am not, offer whenever we talk about this, well, Justin Jefferson's up for a new deal, Jamar Chase is up for a new deal. It probably won't happen early on because of things like that. Well, you know what? You can't let the probably be a thing anymore. You know what I mean? You can't let these things that are normal impediments when you're a consistently competitive team, you have to be the exception. You have to be the exception to every circumstance, every situation this offseason. These things normally take a lot of time. Well, you got to burn that midnight oil. You got to find a way to be the first. And they're never the first when it comes to deals like this. They are always the last. And that's why they have to pay so much more. People are going to be uproar whenever, if ever, they pay Dak Prescott probably somewhere like $57 million this year. That's because they waited. If they had gotten this done, people would have freaked out when they paid him $52 million or whatever it would have been a year ago, but it would have been lower than it would be now. And that's the whole situation. If you drag your feet and drag your feet and drag your feet, it always costs more when it comes to these stars. And you need these stars because you're trying to win a Super Bowl. You haven't done that in forever. I mean, they're chasing their tail, and then they're telling us, guys, can you believe this tail? It keeps eluding me. It's crazy. Just sit down and be cool. I mean, geez, stop doing stupid stuff.
We will continue doing our stupid stuff next. Let's look around the NFL as we're headed toward Vegas. The gumbo's hot. The coaching carousel turns. and injuries we need to worry about. Let's look at the league next. This is Rob and RJ. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The NFL playoffs are here.
Read all about it, baby. One last drive.
Wild card, divisional, conference championship, and Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas. Hear it on your exclusive home for the NFL playoffs and the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you're looking to get a new car, you could really cut expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive. Sure, you love your old car, but you know it's not normal to give instructions on how to open the window. It should be self-explanatory, but it's not. And notice how when you're in other people's cars, you can feel cushion in the seats? That's pretty nice, right? No, it's just normal. So bundle your renter's and car insurance with Progressive and put the savings toward a new car. It's time. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you tired of going to the dentist over and over again? Hi, I'm Dr. Andrew Mueller, Chief Oral Surgeon at Doctors Implants.
We have put a lot of money into fixing my teeth over and over and over again, a filling or a crown or this or that.
At Doctors Implants, replacing your teeth with full mouth dental implants might be the long-term solution you're looking for.
The 6-Hour Smile is a permanent full mouth teeth replacement. Your new smile will be custom designed to fit your face and lifestyle and will look and function just like regular teeth. You won't need to remove them from your mouth overnight, and you won't need adhesive to keep them in place. Eat freely and smile confidently again. Research them at doctorsimplants.com. Receive a complimentary doctor's consultation and CT scan when you call 210-640-0000. Again, that's 210-640-0000.
Home of the 6-Hour Smile.
Okay, if you love playing fantasy sports like I do, take it to the next level with Prize Picks. It's the #1 daily fantasy sports app. This is Rob Thompson, and right now, with the big game around the corner, NBA in full swing, there's no better way to get into the action than with Prize Picks. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections on a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's that easy. You can turn $10 into $250 just like that in 2 taps. I love the easy gameplay, the quick withdrawals, and huge selection of players, the stat options, and more. And check this out. Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy platform with injury perfection insurance. It'll keep you in the game even if one of your players isn't. It's great. Over 7 million sports fans have already signed up, and I'm one of them. So join me and watch your favorite players and get paid doing it right now. Just download the Prize Pick app and use the code Alamo. That's Alamo on Prize Picks for your first deposit. And they'll match up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy. This is Rob Thompson. I'm here with my brother, Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com.
I'm a lawyer for you. I've helped you.
Yes, he has, and many others here in San Antonio. And that's why I'm so glad I get a chance to talk to you today about what happens when you get into an accident.
It's overwhelming for everybody involved. You have this paralysis of what to do next, who to talk to, how do you get medical care, or you're in the hospital and who's going to pay for this. It's this swirl of anxiety, and many times it's even worse than the injury itself. You have to help people through that situation. And I tell every client the same thing. Don't worry. I've got this. I will take care of this. Just worry about your family. Just worry about getting healthy. If I can do that for you and maximize your recovery, you stay in business, you keep clients. And for 30 years, I've kept every client I've ever had. I don't lose clients. I represent their family and friends because that's how seriously I take my job.
A lawyerforus.com. You can find him at 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us.
texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text Renewal to 200-300 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text Renewal to 200-300 right now. Text the word Renewal to 200-300. Don't wait, text Renewal to 200-300.
This is Andrew Monaco, and you're listening to the home of the Aggies, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Robin RJ with you. Hey, make sure you're watching us live on our YouTube feed. And while you're there, get yourself signed up. We got all kinds of stuff on sasportstar.com. You can get yourself in the running for $2,024 as our holiday cash contest continues throughout the month. We're running out of time there. Our golf tournament's around the corner, March the 25th, available to sign up there. But go there on the regular and get your chance to win $2,024 just by playing along with us here at San Antonio Sports Star. I just got an update from Jason Minnick, says he is in jury duty. He's been summoned to do his civic duty right now. When was the last time you had jury duty?
About a year ago, and it got canceled, which was, after we went through all the process and everything, and the judge came out and explained to us the importance of doing our civic duty and talked to us for like 30 minutes just to say it's canceled. But after watching the show on Amazon Prime, now I'm afraid of ever getting called back.
Yeah, especially if it's in a strange building.
Right. So, yeah, I don't know. You think Jason makes it out for the Blitz?
Probably. The chances of getting on jury duty, if you play your card, you can get out of it. Although I always like being on the jury. I'm one of the few that appreciates going.
You and Stanley from The Office.
I guess.
That's it.
I like sitting in judgment of people.
I cannot think of anything I would rather do less.
I judge you guilty. I get to do
it's
that.
Also, you have to sit in these like tiny auditorium seats next to people you don't know, and you're so close you can't even open your phone without anybody looking at it. It's just, I don't want anything to do with it, Rob. You're a weirdo.
Well, let's see. We're getting our updates as we move along. I've done both criminal and civil. Criminal ones get a little icky. The civil ones I like. I enjoy those. So if you're listening, send me one.
Send you jury duty.
I'm one of the few. I always felt like they should. If you're unemployed, there's their job. Just recycle. You pay them to be jurors.
What is the process? Is it like a shuffle? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
what is
your voter registration card is your key.
I recognize that, but I want to see the yield.
I don't understand it because I've had years where I've been called twice, and then I've gone 5 years without getting called at all. I don't know what the process. It obviously is relatively random.
Wow. Well,
I've only been chosen 3 times.
That's my nightmare. Goodness, it's hard enough to go through this. What if Jason gets chosen today?
Well, what the fear is, you get on one of those 8-month trials.
Let me paint you a little picture here. What if Jason, who's actively there, gets chosen and the trial ripples into next week?
I think, you might have to have a little discussion with the judge there. You got a pre-existing condition, as it were.
Well, what is the condition?
Being a sports talk radio host.
Yeah,
it's hard to get insurance enough. And then when you say, what do you do for a living? Oh,
wow.
So you live a sedentary lifestyle, do you?
ESPN has a ranking of all 57 Super Bowl champions. What do you think the highest Cowboys team is ranked?
Ooh, those Cowboy teams against Buffalo, that's top 5 caliber. I'll say the best Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl champion was the 95, 94.
No, 94 they didn't win it.
I mean 95 then. That's
92 is the strongest team, and they're appropriately ranked. They're appropriately ranked the highest. Of
I think I'm confusing them. The 92 one.
They're the ones who beat the Bills 52.
Yes, that's the one I'm talking about.
Rose Bowl, right?
Yeah.
So they are number 5.
That's about right.
All-time Super Bowl ranking.
Best. I'm going to just throw it out there without even knowing. The best Super Bowl team I ever witnessed was the Chicago Bears in '85. That was the most dominating football team I ever saw.
They're number 2. The 1989 Niners are number 3.
That was the Cincinnati game. Is that when they beat the Bengals? Is that the year?
No, this was against the Broncos.
The Broncos.
So the 96 Packers with Mike Holmgren are number 4. They're right ahead of the 92 Cowboys. The number 1 this kind of surprised me, to be honest with you. The best Super Bowl champion ever, according to ESPN, the 1991 Washington team.
Well,
and it was also played in Minnesota.
I remember that Super Bowl.
They were really good, obviously, but I mean, I wouldn't have.
There's a couple of Redskin teams that had some Super Bowl blowouts.
I mean, they were great. By the way, the 2 Giants teams that just happened, to stumble into Super Bowls this past decade. The 07 team is 53rd out of 57 teams. The 2011 team, which was the second one that won in Indianapolis, they are 56th.
What's the best football team you ever witnessed live that you saw and thought, my gosh?
07 Cowboys. They were unstoppable, and they lost to that Giants team. So.
And I'm not even. It could be a college team or it could be a high school team that was just so much better than anybody on the field that you went, my gosh, this team is playing.
The 2012 Alabama team that waxed Notre Dame in the title game. The team that Johnny beat, that Alabama team was stupid. I mean, I think you could go any Trojan team in the Pete Carroll era. You could go.
There's some Longhorn games.
You could go any Miami team. Also, Miami might be the best answer. The early 2000s Hurricanes.
The most dominant performance I ever witnessed live was a Spurs game in the 03 final, the Nets finals, when we just dispatched the Nets.
I was still limiting it to just football.
Well, I'm just talking about the most dominant performance, the best team I ever saw, regardless of sport. Was the Spurs. Now, they played bigger, better teams and had better games. But there was a game in Jersey against the Nets where that was the best team out there that they could play. And it was child's play. The Spurs were so much better than anybody they saw in that playoff run. I mean, they were so much better. It wasn't even a question during that run. And
you're talking about the finals in 03.
In 03, yes. I mean, even prior to that, it was a struggle, don't get me wrong. But by the time they got to New Jersey, there was no doubt they were the best team far and away. And Jersey knew it. The Nets knew it. And the way that they just dispatched them in an NBA Finals game was like I'd never seen it. There was nothing the Nets could do. They knew from game 1 to game 4 that this is done.
So I'm not doubting you, and you have a better grip on this than I do. But looking at this run, they didn't sweep any round of the playoffs. They, in fact, their very first playoff game against.
It was a tough one. But when they got to the Nets, when it was done, when they finally rolled into New Jersey after the battle to get out of the West, and it was a battle, that they were so much better.
Phoenix, LA, and then Dallas in the Western Conference Finals, and then they beat the Nets in 6. They won first game by 12, then they lost by 2.
It was
won by 5. Their
game,
2 losses were by a combined 3 points.
Yeah, and it was. They were so much better in watching. It was
I would put it along a Spursian line. I mean, if you're talking about the Nirvana moment, like the Nirvana of it all, the eye of their dominance, the 2014 team. By the end, they were just playing with the Heat.
Yeah.
I mean, they were just picking at the carcass. I mean, they were just a machine compared to the ghost of what Miami had become at that point.
Hey, coming up, let's look around that fantastic NFL league. The gumbo is boiling. Go grab your saltines and Tabasco. We're talking about the league. There's more going on than just the Super Bowl, as all the brains are down in Mobile, Alabama for the Senior Bowl. It is that season, and we're talking about it next. He's RJ, I am Rob, and you're on 94.1 a San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Joe, I've invented the perfect exercise machine. It's practical, efficient, and fits in any home. I give you the Row and Go. Ta-da! It's a rowing machine that connects to your toilet, so you can row and...
Stop. Folks, at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC will help homes stay in tip-top shape. Call Quarter Moon 651-5899.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, 210-651-5899.
License number M16004, DACLA 000743458.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
It is time to play Pass the Pigskin for a chance to win $5,000 cash and tailgate prize packs. Celebrate with Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds by entering the Pork Rind Appreciation Day giveaway at porkrindappreciationday.com. That's porkrindappreciationday.com. And don't forget to pick up your favorite bold flavored protein packed Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds today at HEB.
Don't let pain keep you from doing the things you love. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. Whether you've been living with chronic and nagging pain for years, or if you've recently experienced an injury, our goal is to get you out of pain as quickly as possible. Arasti is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, Arasti accepts most insurance plans. Their location near AIRROSTI.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson for Tri-County Meat Market, your locally owned full-service meat market. Tri-County has 2 great locations, Keebner Road and Ralph Fair, stocked full of everything you need to up your grilling game. You're looking for the perfect cut of beef, they've got it. And if they don't have it, they'll cut it for you. Roast chicken, prepare foods, they've got it. The 5 for $25 is always in play. If you're a first responder, 10% off the best meat you're going to find. Tri-County Meat Market. Head over to either location, put some good meat on the grill, and thank me later.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price to have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Hi, it's Jason Minix from The Blitz. Guys, Synergenics can help conquer your New Year's resolutions. Do you have lack of energy, motivation, and possibly low libido? These could be caused by low T levels. At Synergenics, they exclusively specialize in testosterone treatment and make it quick and easy to get your levels checked. And at Synergenics, you will get your results back at your first visit. To book your appointment, go to fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com. We are down to the big game in the football season, and you could still play along at Underdog Fantasy. Jason Minix here from The Blitz. I love playing the Pick'em game at Underdog Fantasy, where you pick between 2 and 5 players and select whether they will go higher or lower their predicted stats. And if your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money in a single night. It is a fantasy game that is legal in Texas and certainly makes watching the games a lot more fun. Get in the game now. Go to their easy-to-use mobile mobile app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with my promo code STAR, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100, and you're ready for the big game. Plus, they'll give you a special pickup higher than a half total yards to use on your first pick-em entry. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code STAR. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
This is Andrew Monaco, and the Aggies play here. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Hopefully you didn't go. That's RJ. I'm Rob. Dr. Jason Garrett, he'll be here in about 15 minutes. He of Arasti. We're going to look at the injuries playing a role in our sports world. Around the NFL yesterday, a couple of the hot prospects for a couple of the jobs that were open did not fly the coop. Good news for Houston Texans. There was a strong possibility that C.J. Stroud's remarkable year being fostered by an offensive coordinator that was going to leave. But no, they're going to keep him. The word has it they're going to give him a significant raise, which probably that's what it took to keep him. And maybe a better title, maybe a better parking spot, maybe a few more dollars toward the company canteen. You can stop by and maybe pick up an espresso a day. Well, the little things that matter that keep a guy around. But when you look at the way we saw Stroud play, just in every facet was poised beyond any kind of expectation. Talent was exactly what we expected, and very rarely do those things come to play with a rookie, and we got it all. They had to keep him. It was worth any amount. You pay him up to whatever Ryans is getting. I mean, I would pay him the same if it took him to keep him there for at least another year.
When it comes to coaching in the NFL, you can pay a coach whatever you
Right.
want, however much you want. And the McNairs, good job. I mean, it's totally worth it. You will only go as far as your franchise quarterback takes you. And there's all the reason in the world to believe that the Texans can go the entire distance with CJ Stroud. The core, everything is young and is in place.
And it's so rare when you see this kind of situation stay, because that's the natural progression of things. Your offensive coordinator comes up with a system. The rest of the league is a copycat league, and everybody likes that system. So you immediately hire that guy. The moment there's a modicum of success, whether they're capable of sustaining with a different program, has been tossed out the window. We've got as many failed coaches in their first year as we do get failed first-round draft pick quarterbacks, because systems just don't match players and vice versa. On the other side of that, Ben Johnson staying in Detroit isn't so much about golf. It's more about attitude, right? It's more about Detroit telling fans and players, look, we're in this, we're coming back. I don't think it was important to Goff's long-term success to keep Ben Johnson around. But
I think it's about authority potentially, and he gets to run that offense entirely, and they're an organization that will do a lot of things, and it helps your reputation to kind of be the lovable team. Everybody wants to love the Lions. Everybody, is interested in. I think both Ben Johnson and Bobby Slowik, and Gerard Johnson for that matter, are all in current situations where they're likely going to be in the mix and in the cycle a year from now. Now, I think maybe 10 years ago, when hot coordinators got interviews or things like that, you just didn't know, and you thought, I have to take this job because I just don't know if this opportunity will present itself again. But I know, Ben Johnson doesn't have this luxury, but when you're connected to somebody like CJ Stroud, you're going to be in the mix year in and year out because of what he's able to do for you. And so, but I think the Lions are unique in that the whole team is kind of like that. And they're going to max out on primetime games next year as a result of all this. They're going to, they're going to be at the center of the NFL universe. And so he's now interviewed in 2 different coaching cycles. Everybody thought he should have taken the Panthers job a year ago, and he turned it down. And I mean, that kind of worked out for him. And so if you're somebody like that, it makes sense to wait for the opportunity that you feel is truly, truly, truly right, because you might not get a second one. And while there are a lot of elements to, I think, the Washington job that make it interesting and advantageous, you do not have the quarterback. And if you do not have that, look at Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh was like the dude, and he gets to New York and he can't find that guy. And and you're just stuck, and it muddies your reputation.
So as an OC, never take a gig unless you got the quarterback already there.
I would say as an OC or a DC, I think one of the things that, and I don't say this to slight him, but one of the things that worked out for Dan Quinn when he became a head coach was, he linked up with a team that had a franchise quarterback in place in Matt Ryan and just was kind of down on its luck. I think that worked out for Mike McCarthy when he joined the Cowboys, that they had Dak Prescott in place. It's so hard. It's more rare for these top openings to come available, openings with established, undeniable franchise cornerstone quarterbacks. And if you don't have that, half the job, more than half the job is finding that person and then hoping that they're good enough to help you buy enough time, because what you don't want to be is the guy who goes through all the mud in the process of finding that dude just for the organization to move on, to then bring in the guy who can fix him. And I think, as an example, Matt Eberflus might be that guy. They might draft Caleb Williams the way they did with Justin Fields with his predecessor and Matt Nagy, and then it's okay, let's bring in the new head coach and we'll start the new cycle all over again. And so I get it. I get not wanting to jump into unknown waters.
The situation that that they find themselves. You brought up something interesting with Eberflus, and Caleb Williams. You think Fields? Where do you think Fields lands?
If he's traded, a lot of people think Atlanta makes the most sense. That'd be fun. A lot of people think Pittsburgh makes sense. That would be less fun. Atlanta would be cool. I'm down.
Mm-hmm.
Let's rock.
I'm also seeing things. Pittsburgh's in the market for a quarterback, obviously.
Send Kirk Cousins to Pittsburgh.
Well, okay, so there's three quarterbacks, and Dr. Jason Garrett's going to join us in a second. Remember, Kirk Cousins is coming off Achilles surgery, so that's going to affect a little bit of that. If Russell Wilson is moved, which I know that Denver is probably trying to do that, does that help the Cowboys in an attempt to maybe move a big quarterback contract too? Would that grease the skids a little bit to kind of let the rest of the NFL know, you can trade and get a little, but spend a lot of money for an established quarterback?
So the Broncos are way more up against it than you could possibly be, because Russ has a massive, it's not Dak Prescott's, but it's like $53 million, whatever's the cap number he's at this year in 2024. And he has a no trade clause, as mentioned. So, like the Texans did with Brock Osweiler, in a perfect world, the Broncos would trade, say, Russ and like a second-round draft pick to whoever and say, hey, please take on some of this dead cap hit. But Russ would have to waive his no-trade clause in order to get them to do that. Why would he do that? I mean, why? Whatever. And when they do, Russ can sign for the league minimum with his new team, because it will help his new team,
right?
And he'll still cash all that money from the Broncos. Why would he do the
very
Broncos
different
any
situation than that
at this point? Yeah,
I got you. Let's talk injuries as we prepare for the Super Bowl with our favorite, Dr. Jason Garrett of Arasti. He joins us every Wednesday, and we look at how our players are going to get themselves in the game. Morning, Doc.
Hey, good morning. How are you guys doing?
Oh, man, in prep for Las Vegas, RJ and I we're carbo loading. We're doing everything appropriate for the marathon that we're about to take on next weekend. And we hope to see Kansas City Chief offensive guard Joe Thuney, who is dealing with a torn pec. They're saying there's an outside shot, a long shot to play in the Super Bowl. What do you do to get yourself back from a torn pectoral?
Well, you put a really good brace on. You make sure that you rehabbed as well as possible. You've been cleared by your surgeon. Then you cross your fingers and you pray you don't rip it off the bone. But it's a Super Bowl, so there's not very many chances. You're going to go ahead and go for it.
How much strength do you lose when
with
you're
a torn pec?
Yeah, with a torn pec. I mean, can he even attempt to do what he needs to do with that muscle?
So you don't realize how important any muscle is until you hurt it. It's like your low back. Like, yeah, my low back hurts until you're injured. Then you have zero power in your legs or anything else. When it comes to the pec, anything you do that's pushing off, which is a ton of football activities, where you're jamming someone, pushing somebody off, falling to the ground, landing, all those things become way more painful. And the strength drops dramatically. So hopefully it's recovered enough, it's healed enough. There's enough collateral strength there that he can get through it with a little bit of adrenaline.
Doc, I'm really interested in the Joel Embiid of the world at this point in time. I know everybody's tracking how many games he can miss, obviously, or how many games he has left to be able to miss in order to be eligible to win MVP. But last night was kind of a rough one for him. He's got a million different things. What is just this is kind of a general health question, but like, how long does the human body need to just reset and recover? Because it seems like that's what Joel Embiid needs right now. He just kind of needs to reach ground zero, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and you watching Joel, I don't want to accuse him of anything, but he seems to be an amazing talent, one of the best players of all time potentially, but I don't think his work ethic matches his talent. And when you don't have a work ethic, and when you're 7 feet tall, not much weight, not much just the trauma your body takes by moving at that size, if you don't really take care of yourself, kind of like LeBron or Kobe's, where you do a lot more conditioning, you focus almost as much energy on that, your body's going to break down. And so how much reset time do you need? I think it depends on how much conditioning and stuff you're doing on the side to keep yourself healthy, which I don't think it sounds like he does a lot of. So great talent, but maybe the work ethic doesn't match the talent.
Interesting. And because he's not as finely tuned, it takes longer to rehab and return to even a lesser level of fitness and health.
It does. And not only that, it compounds, right? So if you're not fit and it takes longer to get back, you're even less fit. You're more likely to need more recovery, more likely to get an injury, less likely to play every game during the season. So it's a downward spiral for guys like that.
He is Dr. Jason Garrett of Arasti. His house call is on Wednesdays as he tells us how our players are going to get back in the game. And let's stay with basketball for a second. We heard earlier in the week, the Spurs tell us that Victor Wembanyama has been cleared to play more minutes and will be available to back-to-backs, that he has cleared some sort of perceived or pre-put together goal or status or standard. What was the goal? What turned? What changed in your mind, Doc, that allowed the Spurs to say, all right, now you can play 35 minutes, and if you want to play 2 nights in a row, we'll even consider that?
I think their record has probably changed a little bit. The fact that he took so long to come back was a reflection of how bad their record was. So, again, he was cleared to play from a medical standpoint a long time ago. Now, they want to bring him back safely. He is a unicorn. You don't want to risk further injury or just overplaying a guy at that height while he's still trying to develop physically. I mean, he is very skinny. He is very slight. He is going to put some muscle on and some strength and conditioning. And so there's really no reason to rush him back. So now he's been fully cleared, but I think now he's officially minutes cleared to play even more minutes.
Doc, I'm really just kind of asking general health questions for myself, like just kind of, at this point, applying everything I can to my life relative to these worldwide, athletes. But Ranger shortstop Corey Seager, obviously, hero for all Rangers fans last fall. Sports hernia, one of the terms I've never understood, but compounded with something I've never understood that seems to happen in medicine and health, where somebody says, and see if that works, only to then have to have surgery. How is this, why would surgery not be an immediate option for him? Because now it might take him out through opening day.
Yeah, sports hernias are really any kind of hernia. All it is a weakening of the abdominal wall and organs start to protrude through. That doesn't usually heal. Because anytime you go to strain, like lift heavy weights, swing a baseball bat, anything with maximal effort puts a lot of intra-abdominal pressure, which opens that back up and makes it worse. So it doesn't really heal. Those are the kind of things that are no-brainers. If you have a sports hernia or any kind of hernia at all, it's an easy surgery. They go in there, they put an artificial mesh, it scars down, heals really well. I don't know why you would want to rest that unless he's not being completely honest with what the injury is.
Dr. Jason Garrett here for us as we look at injuries. I'm looking at a couple of injuries, and these are the medical terms for it. And this is the Lakers injury report with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. LeBron James is dealing with a left ankle peroneal tendinopathy. Anthony Davis is dealing with a bilateral Achilles tendinopathy. When I see tendinopathy, I'm thinking back to the days prior to the load management when you could discuss resting amongst, friends and family and polite company. Before that, when you couldn't. Whenever the Spurs wanted somebody to sit out for rest, I always felt like whenever I saw the injury designation of plantar fasciitis, I felt like they just got some sore feet. They're going to take the night off. When I see tendinopathy, is that one of those things that is vague enough to give you a night off if you use it, but really you could probably be playing anyway?
Absolutely. So
Okay.
anytime you see tendinopathy, it's like Kawhi when he was crippled walking up the stairs in the plane, like, oh my gosh, he's in terrible shape. No, he had patellar tendonitis. It hurts when you're not active. You can play through it. It's not necessarily recommended because it doesn't tend to get better, but it also doesn't really get a lot worse. A tendinopathy just means you have inflammation in a tendon. So, Anthony Davis, 7-footer, chronic injuries. He's always going to be hurting. He's always going to have Achilles tendonitis. LeBron James peroneal tendonitis, that's probably more what you're talking about, like a throwaway diagnosis. You need some rest. They're little tendons on the outside of the ankle that, yes, you can get a tendinopathy, but it's not that common, and it's not something that really sidelines you or derails you. So I think he's probably just getting a little more rest. He's 39. He deserves it.
Doc, so Rob talked about Kirk Cousins, who suffered an Achilles tear right around Halloween. Today's obviously January 31st, and we're about 6 weeks away from free agency and speculating or finding out his ultimate future destination. If you're a would-be team, whether it is the Steelers or the Falcons or the Vikings or whoever, what is your concern level given his age? He's north of 30. The timing of all this and practicality with him being fully healthy and viable for 2024 and beyond.
Really, I have almost no doubt or risk because of the type of athlete he is. He's not explosive. He's not going to be running and cutting. Your Achilles heals really well. It's a good surgery nowadays. Look at Aaron Rodgers. He was ready, almost cleared to play, literally in half the time that most people are at almost 40 years old. So Kirk Cousins, I don't have any concerns or reservations. If I was an NFL team and you think he is a quality quarterback, I wouldn't worry about his Achilles. I would just base it off his ability.
We really don't know exactly what the processes and procedures that Aaron Rodgers went through to get himself back that quickly. Do you get the sense that whatever it was, which seems to be pretty miraculous, is now going to be just the common practice, that we can now start looking at an Achilles rupture like that, if gotten in time and processes followed, that we can get him back in 6-8 months on a regular basis?
Yeah, and I think he actually did go on a Joe Rogan podcast, or the guy that treated him in Austin, and then gave him permission to tell them what he did. So there's stem cells that were injected in. They're not illegal. There's no PEDs. Right. But there's this company in Austin and several in South and Central America that have been doing stem cells much more aggressively. Everyone's heard of stem cells for years, but they've kind of figured out how to get things to heal a lot faster with specifically injecting stem cells. And I believe that's what Darren did. That's what my sources tell me that he had done. And it helps heal much, much faster. I'm actually going to meet with a guy who just went to Costa Rica. He had both his knees, his shoulders. He's won the CrossFit Games in the 60-plus category for 10 years in a row. So lots of wear and tear. He just had that done. He's like, man, it's amazing. It's incredible. I feel so much younger than I did before. So I think, the future is teaching the body to heal itself through stem cells versus just invasive surgeries.
That's why we have him, the insight and the knowledge. He is Dr. Jason Garrett of Arasti. Hey, listen close. Don't let pain keep you from doing the things that you love. Arasti's all around San Antonio, here to get you fixed and fast. Hey, Doc, it's always a pleasure to catch up with you, man. We'll be sitting in Las Vegas next Wednesday. Can't wait to talk to you then.
Yeah, have fun. I'm jealous.
Yeah, it's one of the few times we're going to be someplace where Garrett is jealous of us. Normally, he's on the ski slopes or someplace else. Always a pleasure to catch up with the Doc. We have an hour of laughter-filled squalor fun coming your direction. Dallas Cowboys Brain Trust is in Mobile, Alabama. They were cornered yesterday. Jerry spoke to the fans' ire. So did Steven. Jerry talked about the future of his head coach, his quarterback, talent acquiring, and all the things that have happened in the last week, and you're going to want to hear it, and we'll have it all for you next. This is Rob and RJ. You're on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. Hey, listen to me. Did you just step out of a Connecticut shower, washed clean, and ready to attack the day? I hope you did. And if you did, well, go on about your day. You're already starting it right. But if you didn't, if you do not have a Connecticut, listen to me. Living in San Antonio's got a lot of benefits, and our aquifer water, boy, it makes some good sweet tea and some fine cold beer. But what comes up in that water has a tendency to get stuck in your pipes, lands on your dishes, gets in your hair, it's on your skin, gets in your body. Your dogs are drinking it, your kids are drinking it. And if you see what the residuals are, you want to go, ugh. If you've got a Connecticut, that is not a concern. Go check out your pipes if you got a Connecticut one. Smooth and clean as it should be. That's why you need to get yourself a Connecticut. They are designed and manufactured in the United States with San Antonio and South Texas water in mind. It is hard. It needs to be softened, and it needs to be done now. If you don't have a Connecticut, you better get on the phone, 656 Pure. You dial that number today. They're going to come out and put one in your home without any commitment or money for 90 days so you can see what I'm talking about. Your glasses are going to go from cloudy to clear. Your hair is going to go from crackly to soft. Your skin's going to go from, a little dry, a little ashy to smooth and silky. That's what Kinetico has done for us. It'll do it for you. Go to KineticoSA.com for all the details and sing it while you type it. You know what I'm talking about. KineticoSA.com. But do yourself a favor. Dial 656-PURE today. Get a new Kinetico in your home, and I know you're going to thank me later.
The Sports Star Boys are headed to Vegas for the big game.
Remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
This Monday, Robin, RJ, and Jason and Joe are heading to Sin City and Radio Row for the big game with security provided by AA Best Bail Bonds.
Let's go to Vegas. We'll all get drunk and
Woo!
Woo!
Think you gonna get away with it? Not up in here.
Not up in here.
Powered by AA Best Bail Bonds, Synergenics, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-5407. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-5407. That's 800-575-5407. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Eczema flaring up again? We have good news. Exoderm. If you or someone you love suffers from eczema or dermatitis, get Exoderm, the common sense answer for eczema. This stuff really does work. Exoderm contains the #1 doctor-recommended ingredient in a clean hypoallergenic cream with no harsh additives. Take back control of your eczema with affordable, fast-acting Exoderm Flare Control Cream. Exoderm. It's in the first aid aisle of your local Walmart, H-E-B, and other fine stores.
The Australian Pink Floyd Show. First Class Traveling Set World Tour 2024. August 22nd, Boeing Center at Techport. Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at livenation.com. The Australian Pink Floyd Show.
Show your love this Valentine's with exquisite fashion jewelry from Diamonds Direct and save an extra 20%. Now through Valentine's, all fashion favorites at Diamonds Direct are on sale. All earrings, all bracelets, all necklaces, stackable bands, colored gemstone jewelry, and more. Lots of romantic and timeless gifts for under $500. Special financing available too. Don't miss this. An extra 20% savings on all fashion jewelry favorites at Diamonds Direct. Shop in store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride-sharing cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
KTFM Floresville. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the Aggies. San Antonio's Sports Center.
In the NBA, your San Antonio Spurs return to action tonight. They're going to take on the Orlando Magic, coming off a difficult, if not humiliating, loss to the Washington Wizards. Let's see if they can hold on and keep it tonight. In college hoops, the 15th-ranked Texas Tech Red Raiders got upset by TCU 85-78. And there's 3 more Cowboys headed to the Pro Bowl. We'll tell you next.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
This is R&R in the morning.
Man in motion, handoff, Pollard coming right. Bang, zoom, touchdown Cowboys.
Yama about 3 feet behind the line, got it.
It's R&R in the morning with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning to you. He's RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson. We're doing a radio show right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We're glad you're with us, but to play with us, you got to do some things. It's called the let me get this right, the like tax.
Yeah, remembered something. Let's go.
Go exercise and pay your taxes. Make sure you are subscribing, liking, and doing all the things that is appropriate to you for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, whether you're watching us live. Make sure you're subscribing to that on our YouTube feed and doing all the things that are appropriate. Got an hour headed this way as the Cowboys are in Mobile. It's the first day of practice there at the Senior Bowl. Jerry and Steven are there. Of course, this is really the first time we've been able to see these guys in person since the cataclysmic events that occurred just a little over a week and a half ago, a little over that. Jerry was asked out the gate yesterday, do you get it, dude? I mean, literally, do you understand the ire, the anger that Cowboy fan feels? And when he responds, you're going to hear this. I thought he was about to jump at us, but no. Maybe Jerry gets it, maybe he doesn't, but this is where he is.
What I would say is, I hope it's not different going into the first playoff game where we've got the second seed. I hope it's not different at all to that point where we got the second seed. Okay, now let's talk about how we might make it different against when we play in that game and get a win. Okay, we need to stop the run better. And we need to be more physical, and we need to run better. Be specific. We need to do those kinds of things more. And so my point is, I look at that, and I look at. I thought we made a pretty good move 4 years ago when we hired Mike McCarthy. And he's had some great in-season success. Now, he's come up short three times and advanced us in the playoff. Okay? But I like the fact that he's hanging around the rim. And I like what the team has done to hang around the rim.
Hanging around the rim just seems to be what the Cowboys do. Yeah, you're hanging around the rim. You're at least you're there. You get to see it happen. You don't get to participate in it, but you're close.
So I'm not a math expert. I mean, I feel confident in kind of basic algebraic formulas, right?
You're ahead of me.
You hired him 4 years ago, but he's come up short 3 times. How's that possible? I mean,
well, one win. See, the bar's low. All we need is one playoff win.
We're conveniently now disregarding one season because, and granted, Dak got hurt, and I've excused that a lot in the past, but 4 years. You know how many days are in 4 years? We're like 1,500 days. That's 1,500 sleeps, that we've had to go. I mean, on top of all this, the Cowboys drought is over 10,000 days old. So you're talking about you're at 10%, over 10%, of 15% of the drought. I mean, you can't be hanging around the rim for 15% of a 30-year drought. I mean, I'm rounding up in some of these instances. And so I want to be very clear here that I'm sort of complaining without an obvious solution because they are in some bit of a mess. You can talk yourself into different directions. You can say they should have moved on from Mike McCarthy because they came up short despite hanging around the rim. You can talk yourself into keeping Mike McCarthy because they've been around the rim when in the past they've just been the team chucking it up from half court. You can talk yourself into moving on from Dak Prescott because 8 years in, he hasn't taken the team to the promised land or even to the land before the promised land. You can talk yourself into keeping Dak Prescott. He's the second. He's going to be second in MVP voting, and we're acting like he's garbage. I mean, there's a little bit of overreaction happening in all sorts of different directions here. The contractual elements of everybody involved. To kind of get to the point that you started all this with, I feel like I'm more stressed about this than Jerry is. I mean, you have to have some sense of urgency about all of these factors and figuring out the direction you're going to point this entire mess in for us to feel some semblance of confidence or trust that this season has the microscopic potential to be different than the 28 that preceded it.
Jerry talked about the 3 things. What did he say? Stop the run. Be more physical.
Oh my! It's just
and run better.
This This sounds like he was, he told someone, I have to go talk about football. Give me 3 things to say, and then it's like, say you want to stop the run. And
it's kind of like the Clarissa Thompson when she admitted that sometimes she doesn't get the coach at halftime, and they go, "Well, what do you need to fix?" "Well, we need to convert better on third downs." Well, obviously, Jerry, you do need to be more physical, and obviously, yes, you do need to stop the run. So we appreciate the fact that you acknowledged it. Now, you've said this many times before and not done a whole lot to fix it, or your attempts have not been successful in fixing it, I think would be the best way to put it. With Jerry
first round draft
specifically,
pick on fixing the run last year, and it
yeah,
whiffed.
He
hard.
tried. At least to their credit, they tried. They failed in their effort, but at least I'll give him an A for effort. When we talk about Dak Prescott, I don't know how to take this quote, because he laid down the law kind of, and then because he laid it down as far as where Dak is with the Cowboys, I don't know where you go from this. This is what Jerry had to say about Dak and Dak doing and taking us where he's taking us.
And I specifically want to make this point with y'all. It's actually a misrepresentation to ask about any one player's contract.
Yeah,
that's not the issue here.
And I guess, and again, I just pose it last year.
Jr. asking the question.
Dak has done nothing to change my mind of any promise for the future. I think I said in the deal that we'd go as far as Dak takes us in the playoffs. Remember that?
Right.
We go as far as Dak takes us.
Right. How you feel
and that's how far we went.
Right. So
okay. So my point is that doesn't change a thing. We'll go as far as Dak takes us.
We'll go as far as Dak takes us, and yet he took you yet again. Nowhere.
Look, Dak has had his failures, and I'm not going to defend them. I think he's had his successes too, and I have defended those. But this is so weak. I mean, coming out here and being like, well, we're going to go as far as Dak takes it. How about you go as far as you build the team to go? How about that? I mean, the way that they just so easily put their players out as shields for criticism is and because they know that people will take it and be like, well, yeah, this is Dak's fault. They can only go as far as Dak goes, and Dink and Dak sucks, Dak's trash, Dak's awful, blah blah blah. So we're screwed. Why is there no individual level of atonement here? Why is it got to be we only went as far as Dak took us? Is Dak the one getting all the checks for all the television rights and everything? Is Dak in charge here? I mean, because this should be how far the team builds you to go. Do you think the Niners are saying right now, we got here because Brock Purdy brought us? Obviously, he was a big part of that, but they're here where they are because they built a monster that could survive the battle of attrition. The Chiefs are a little bit of a different story because Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes, but it's not like he's alone. He has Travis Kelce. He has Andy Reid. He has all sorts of people, working towards the greater good and the overall cause.
It's interesting that you can apply that to Pat Mahomes. We apply it to Dak Prescott, MVP finalist and probably second, third place voter, but we don't say that about Brock Purdy, although I think it's as true there. They're not there but for Brock Purdy. They'll go as far
Do you think Brock is dragging the Niners to the Super Bowl?
No, not at all. But he's not but he is certainly an important cog in the machine.
Where is he at on the if this was a charter bus? Is he driving?
Well,
is he the front seat?
You're right.
Does he have the Google Maps open?
I don't know if he is third behind McCaffrey and Debo or second according to either Debo or McCaffrey. I don't know if he's behind them both or behind the one that's hottest. But no, he's not the most important piece of that machine.
That's what I'm saying. But so the presentation from Jerry here is, oh, well, Dak is the one who's driving us. Like we're all in the back. Like we're actually not even in the charter bus. Dak is driving an F-150 and he's towing us. You know what I mean? Like that's where we're going. So we're all behind Dak. But Steven also had a quote that I thought was kind of interesting. Steven was, asked about fans being pissed off. I believe we have this, et cetera, and said something legitimate, but also kind of threw Dak a little bit under the bus himself.
Let's start with understand why the fans are frustrated, because we have had 3 good years at 12-5, and we have had major disappointments in the postseason. So until we do something about it, which is go have another great year and have success in the playoffs, and that's going to be there. I mean, there's no way they're going to explicitly trust you until you get it done. Would someone trust Tom Brady and the Patriots that they're going to get it done? Yeah. Why? Because they
Tom
did
Brady and the Patriots
year in and year out. Does someone trust Mahomes in Kansas City?
Mahomes
do it? Why? Because they do it 6 years in a row. They're in the championship game. Until we compete at that level and we get the job done, then there's going to be doubt, and rightfully so.
Stephen Jones speaking on his a quarterback and the doubt accrued when you don't get it done.
For full context, Clarence Hill, friend of the show, did immediately press back and say, "You mentioned Brady, you mentioned Mahomes. What's that say about Dak?" And Stephen was like, "We love our quarterback. We've made it very clear how much. But why bring it up? Why bring that up like that? You know why?" Again, I'm not trying to stir the pot, but that's hard to not have a takeaway about. You know, especially when they're not also saying we're working on the Dak extension round the clock. I mean, again, it's throwing Dak's name out there. Dak is the shoulders they're putting all of this burden on. Yeah, well, do you trust Brady and the Patriots? There's no mention of Bill Belichick. Do you trust Mahomes and the Chiefs? There's no mention of Andy Reid. There's no mention of Robert Kraft. There's no mention of the Hunt family, the coaches, the ownership groups, or anything like that. The only individuals who are isolated and separated, in the words that Stephen Jones offered, were the quarterbacks.
The cover provided. I'm starting to get a feel for where you are now. It's always...
Dude, this is what they do, man. And I promise you, and we'll have these discussions as the offseason goes along, Dak is the one in front right now. Soon enough, we'll be here and talk about pie and about how there's only so much pie, and it's really difficult to get all these guys signed to these massive contracts because they gotta keep them all, and it would be easier if they took a little bit less to help them keep the other. If they were all about winning, they will pit them against one another, and they will pit the fans against the players on the team. Look at our chat. And chat, I'm not calling you out, but the chat is all mad at Dak. The chat thinks that Dak sucks and Dak is the fall guy and Dak and this and that and the other. Dak was horrible. He was a big reason why the Cowboys got destroyed in the playoffs of the Green Bay Packers. You have zero beef from me on that note. But was Mike McCarthy not horrible? Was Micah Parsons not horrible? Was CeeDee Lamb not pouting on the sidelines throughout the first half of the game? Was there not a list of 500 things that were horrible about the game? But did Stephen Jones bring up any other position other than the quarterback when talking specifically about the idea of trust? No, it was Brady and the Patriots, Mahomes and the Chiefs. It's a quarterback's game. And while we think that they're dunces and they're just walking around, not knowing how to do any of this, they know how to get people riled up in the direction that they want, and it's anywhere but them.
Coming back, we hear from the GOAT, Tom Brady. He told us where he's taking his talents finally. Let's talk about the broadcast side of the game as Tom Brady is jumping deep into the pool. What does that mean to Greg Olson and the rest of the broadcast crews? We'll look at the other side of the sports coming up next. This is Rob and RJ, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Smith Monday, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Progressive knows we're all trying to save right now.
Hey, at least we're still enjoying baseball on a Saturday night, right? Even if it is T-ball. Yeah, but tickets to the majors are just so expensive now. And who knows, maybe we're seeing a pro in the making. Sure, in like 20 years. How is he safe? Boo! This ump stinks!
The ump is only 14. We don't really do that.
Oh, my bad. You're doing a great job, ump.
Progressive offers you savings without sacrifice. So save big when you bundle home and auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
We're from Washington. We love Febrez's new scent. Refresh and energize.
So much we made a song about it.
I can't escape this feeling inside. Refresh and energize. It's a mood. It's a vibe. Breathing for the first time. So free, so alive. Breathe happy for free. Smells like paradise. Breathe happy for free. La, 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 la.
Joe Reinagle here. I want to tell you about something that has completely changed my life. I had vision correction surgery at Parkhurst New Vision. The results are amazing. The readers are a thing of the past. Hey, if you're like me and tired of those glasses, call Parkhurst New Vision at 210-585-2020. They offer a variety of services like vision correction surgery. So call Parkhurst New Vision, 210-585-2020, or get them online at sanantoniolasik.com.
No amount of money can make up for a life-changing injury. I'm George Salinas, and at George Salinas Injury Lawyers, our team of attorneys will fight to get you the maximum compensation because we prepare and we care. So if you've been injured in an accident, get George. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
Wake up. Breakfast. And Nature Made vitamins. Whatever your morning sounds like, Nature Made fits right in. Whether you're looking for vitamin C or a multivitamin to get key nutrients, we've got you covered. Now that's a good morning. We take care of you so you can take on your day. Start your day with Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist recommended vitamin and supplement brand, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Hey, I'm Chelsea, and a little thing I like about the Chick-fil-A Spicy Deluxe Sandwich is I think it's just a perfect combination of ingredients. The pepper jack cheese and that spiciness of the sandwich. It's the right type of spice and the right amount of spice. It's crunchy on the outside, but then really tender on the inside. And then obviously the pickles on the bottom are iconic. There are too many things I like about it. I don't know if I can finish the thought.
Bring on the spice and order the Chick-fil-A Spicy Deluxe Sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real guests paid for their testimonial.
If you've got questions, O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger. Because we have professional grade supplies for every industry, even hard to find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Sick and tired of achy joints? Dread the idea of surgery? You need to call QC Kinetics today. Hey, it's James Spudger with San Antonio Sports Star. Listen, the state of healthcare is always changing. The old ideas like steroids and surgery are no longer your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative and non-surgical drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, pain from arthritis or injury. Don't let this pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics' advanced state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. Make 2024 the year you reclaim your mobility, reclaim your independence, walk, run, play, and live without the danger and trauma of surgery and without harmful drugs. Call QC Kinetics now for 571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
Super Bowl 58 in Vegas is set. It's the Chiefs and Niners. Hear it right here on your exclusive home for the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
He's RJ, I'm Rob. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Huddle up around us. This morning huddle's fun. Got a full sporting day in front of us. Greenie's just around the corner. A Blitz will be here at 2. Got some bad news on the Twitter sphere just a little while ago. The general, John McClain, has been furloughed, laid off there at 610 in Houston. Our primary Texans guy. It's life in the media for sure, but he's a Hall of Fame writer with the NFL. Legend. I'm sure we'll still hear a lot from him, but hey, John, thoughts and prayers as you move on to the next chapter in what has been a long and highly illustrious career. Speaking of broadcast careers, one at the twilight, one beginning. And we heard from Tom Brady after his 1-year hiatus from the contract, that whopper of a deal he signed. He announced yesterday that he'll be taking his talents to the TV screens and doing color commentary for your Fox NFL broadcasts next year.
Get ready to know him very well if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan. He is not just headed to Fox, and he announced this to your point, but it was also announced like a year and a half ago. So he just announced that he
took
would
that
be
1 year hiatus to write a book, evidently.
He announced that he would be fulfilling the contract that he signed, basically. But so it will be the number one chair at Fox, alongside seemingly Kevin Burkhardt, who's amazing, and with Aaron Andrews and Tom Rinaldi as the sideline reporters. Do you know how many times that crew did a Cowboys game this year?
On Fox? A lot.
Yeah, they're Fox, so they get mostly NFC games. But so in total, they had 18 regular season games, obviously, and then they had a wild card game, a divisional game, and the NFC championship game.
9 times.
It is exactly 9. Wow, look at you.
I mean,
That's
I
amazing.
figured it'd be over half. That's the A block with your A team, but that A team included Greg Olsen.
Man, I'm so bummed. I was looking through some tweets of mine, and in 2021, when they were still the B team before Joe and Troy left, I found a tweet of mine that said, "Man, this Kevin Burkhardt, Greg Olsen, Pam Oliver crew is so good."
It is,
and Olsen is just he is so great. Romo, I think, captivated all of us originally because of just his energy, but Olsen has the energy and you can tell that this dude just like obsesses about football and just like consumes it all the time and consumes football information and discussion. And he translates that he was awesome during the NFC Championship game. I mean, he's been awesome all season. It's a bummer that he's going to get demoted.
He's going to get demoted, at least in the short term. If I was him, you hang around the game, but he is a number one guy just waiting for a number one spot. I don't know where that'll end up, but in this ever-changing TV world, I wouldn't sign a long-term deal. That's for sure. So who do we think that Brady's going to get paired with if it's not going to be Burkhardt? And so Burkhardt will get the A guy, and Olsen will be cast adrift with the B.
Yeah, he'll probably go down with Joe Davis, who got the World Series and Fox baseball playoff game bump. He's the Burkhardt of baseball now. But yeah, I would say so. I believe it was Mark Schlereth who was working with Joe Davis. I could be wrong. So there's a domino effect, all this, but just a real bummer. I mean, these are big shoes. These are the biggest shoes Tom Brady's ever had to walk into. I mean, and in games that are going to be viewed by a lot of people. To your point about the Cowboys. Yes,
this is the biggest stage. And when Tony took it over, I don't know how much we expected. Stepping off the field and into the booth isn't easy. We expected something, but Tony was so good, so fast because his relationship with the game and the team and the players was still so strong. And it has felt since that first year that it has slowly declined to the point where, it feels a lot like his playing career, where he just surprised everybody with his skill, but we realized he was already so close to his ceiling that it wasn't much more left. And it feels very much the same way with his broadcast career. I would bet that if CBS had their druthers in the long term, they would get out of this deal with Romo. This is the second year in a row that you're hearing rumors from inside the buildings that they're just not happy with Romo and his prep and everything that goes on to being the sidekick with Nance, who's also imminent to depart here before long.
I mean, yeah, Nance is, I think, 2 or 3 masters away from doing 50. So, I mean, after that, you could see him kind of moving on. He's obviously already moved on from the NCAA tournament. So, I mean, we could be seeing a full CBS reset. But Olsen is a Fox guy. He just fits the Fox vibe. There's a little bit more energy. Like there's a little bit more conservativeness to the CBS crew. I mean, they wear blazers and everything. Like, I don't know what the future holds for Greg Olsen, but I want him calling Big Ten football games.
Big Ten football games.
Big time football games.
Okay, well, let's say Big Ten. That's CBS. They're already advertising Big Ten on Saturday afternoons. I don't know if you're mad at anything, but if you have any grievances, you need to air them or that air turns sour. Hey, coming back, we're going to air our grievances, whether they are aimed at Jerry or not. We do want to hear from him. Got a little concerned with some shoelaces and some other issues that are, small in yours, but big in my life. And also we'll continue to hear from Jerry and Steven as they are in Mobile, Alabama, scouting some new talent for that Dallas Cowboy roster next year that will once again challenge for the mediocrity that the Cowboy fan has become so accustomed to. Hold on tight. We got more to do. This is Rob and RJ, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. One of the great things about being a San Antonian is the access to so many of the cool things that we have. And SA Card House, over there on San Pedro and Bitters is one of those cool things that we have access to. They're a private social club. You go join that club, and there are benefits to being a member of the San Antonio Card House. This month, they've given away over $100,000 for just coming out and playing. Not the winnings. I'm just talking about being there and playing, spinning wheels, hot seats, all that goes along with the environment that you're searching for. And there's a vibe at the San Antonio Card House that I haven't seen other places. It's friendly, it's inviting, it's competitive, it is classy, it is safe, it is open, and it's there, and it's waiting on you. What they have is unique in San Antonio. They have paired ideal playing conditions, day or night, 24 hours or not, with a kitchen that is staffed with chefs that know what they're doing, with a staff that understands that you are there to play, you are there to concentrate, but you're also there to have a good time with friends of like mind. And they put together an environment that you're not going to want to miss. If you're new to the game and you want to learn to play, they've got courses and classes to help you get going, to teach you the basics of the game. If you're looking to socialize and just pass time, great folks there. There are good people there to go play with. If you're ready to win, cash games or not, they've got them in all the contests that keep you excited and in. That's what SA Card House does. Look, they're popping up all over the place, but you need to go to the very best to understand why it is the very best, and that's San Antonio Card House. 281 in Bitters. Head out today. Have yourself a fine meal. Play some cards. Make an evening of it. You'll be back, and when you do, I'm sure you'll be thanking me later.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, it's Wednesday, so you know what that means. Hope Day! Get ready to hear that all afternoon. Plus, we'll talk with Clarence Hill Jr. about what Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones had to say yesterday.
Are they really going all in? We'll talk about that. The Blitz at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-5407. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-5407. That's 800-575-5407. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Joel, I've invented the perfect exercise machine. It's practical, efficient, and fits in any home. I give you the Row and Go. Ta-da! It's a rowing machine that connects to your toilet, so you can row and...
Stop. Folks, at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC will help homes stay in tip-top shape. Call Quarter Moon 651-5899.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, 210-651-5899.
License number M16004, DACLA 000743458E.
My name is John. I could not lose the weight I needed to. The Institute for Functional Health Wellness Program was the answer. It included a great deal of testing, supplements, and weekly face-to-face doctor visits. I finally had the accountability I needed. I am now 50 pounds lighter. I no longer have pain in my elbow, back, and hips. I have more energy and just feel and look so much better.
Call for your complimentary consultation, 210-468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health.
Hey, good morning to you. Rob and RJ here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We're just the beginning, as I love to say, to the beginning of a full sporting day. The Blitz will get here at 2 o'clock. I'm sure we will be talking a lot about what's going on in Mobile, Alabama. It'll be the first practice day for the Senior Bowl that's coming around the corner. Of course, the Dallas Cowboys are there in force, in mass, as usual in this time of the year because there's not much else going on. We do it every day at 9:30. If you got something to say that is aggravating you, if you got a grievance to air, this is an opportunity for it. 656-3776, 656-ESPN. Let out that bad air. Bring in the good. Let out the bad and go through the last day of January with a zen-like feel to your world. So if you got something to complain about, we're here to listen. Might not be able to do anything about it, but you can let us know. We've talked all day about Jerry and Steven. Their mindset going into yet another off season full of turmoil, and this one, of course, more than most. But there's always a lot with the Cowboys. It's a soap opera, the likes of which we would be. I don't know what we'd do if we didn't have it. But when you hear Jerry yet again tell us that everything is being done to go get a winner, it starts to get a little old. And when you talk about grievances, at some point, you got to stop shoveling the crap to us. At some point, you got to realize that these notes have been played. We have heard it before, but here we go again. Jerry talking about it's all in. It is the season.
In that respect?
Well, it will be, and it will be going. I would anticipate, with looking ahead at our key contracts that we'd like to address, we'll be all in. I would anticipate we'll be all in at the end of this year. So when you say, is there any thought? I think we'll strain our, we'll push the hell out of it.
Is that doing something different than you have in the past in that respect?
Well, it will be, and it will be going all in on different people than you've done in the past.
Okay.
We'll be going all in. We've seen some things out of some of the players that we want to be all in on. And yes, I would say that you will see us this coming year not building for the future. Is the best way I don't say it. And that ought to answer a lot of questions.
That is Jerry Jones in Mobile for the Senior Bowl. All in on guys that we haven't been before. So what does that tell you? It looks like they're looking in-house first, though Dak doesn't appear to be the first on that list. All in. Jerry is all in. I saw the news yesterday that Baltimore, the Orioles in baseball, the franchise is about to be for the Orioles. Like 1.85. Jerry saw that and said, yeah, I'm all in. I'm all in because as I sit today, I had yet another failure and I'm richer than I've ever been. I had a better financial year than I've ever had. I've negotiated an NFL contract or played a role in one that's bringing even more money, and its salary cap be damned. Here I sit. I'm all in. I don't know why you aren't. I'm all in as a Cowboy owner. You guys buy the tickets. You guys continue to listen, and I continue to shovel it. We ought to be prepared for an all-in kind of season, but I get the sense his all-in ain't our all-in. But maybe, just maybe, we're close. Maybe, just maybe, some of the things he's saying might ring true. I'm not sure they will. One of the things of the conversations that we're having around San Antonio with Spurs is accountability. You know, who is going to take blame? Who is going to issue the blame? Who is going to be the guys that are running the team above and beyond the coach? If your coach is the only guy or the only person that dispenses the accountability ramifications, you got problems. The team needs to hold each other accountable. It's not just one way up, down, coach to player, player to coach. It's sideways too. Jerry spoke about the accountability going on inside the Star.
A lot of what I do is change who I write checks to. Okay, right there. And in doing that, that's the ultimate in accountability. So someone asks if you hold people accountable. When you write the check, you're holding somebody accountable, and it manifests itself right there. So we'll be looking specifically at some of the things we're doing at every point, and we'll be looking at such things as how we manage the cap and where we're putting the point of emphasis. Less spreading it out more, having less emphasis on, the average around the league is 10 or 12 players get 70% of the money. San Francisco does a great job of spreading it around players, and 2 or 3 don't get the money. They do a good job. Now, part of that is where they are in the life of the time of the quarterback. But they've had other quarterbacks. So I look at all teams. I study all teams hard. And the one
knee-jerk accountability is one thing, and long-term accountability is another. And while, he will stress continually about Dak, Dak is who Dak was. I feel no different about Dak today than I did when he was leading or in second in the voting in the MVP during the regular season. We are where we are now, and that's going to play itself out in a very interesting manner over the next 6-8 months. We're going to see where Dak lands. Are they going to restructure and for short-term gain and long-term movement? Are they going to just re-sign him like he's Pat Mahomes? He'll be a Cowboy for the next 6 years with a contract the likes which that'll never be moved. We'll wait and see about that. The immediacy of accountability rests where Jerry can truly make a decision. You can't fire your players. You cannot re-sign them, and your accountability is with your pen and a checkbook, as he said. But accountability can be distributed, can be meted to your coaches immediately. Now, at halftime, you can fire them whenever you choose. That is one of the few positions that the owner truly can measure and dish out the accountability pill. Now, accountable for 1-3 in the playoffs and 42-25 as a head coach for the Cowboys, Mike McCarthy. You can justify it, I guess, in your eyes, that the accountability allows for him to have another year. Dan Quinn's another story, though. How do you hold Dan Quinn accountable to what was expected? Remember 4 months ago, I still have a Jason Minix reel floating around in my digital world talking about the potential for legendary defense. Not just good, but legendary. This is Jerry talking about the potential of Dan Quinn leaving and paying some accountability tax.
He's an outstanding coach, and we have benefited from Dan, and we'll see where it goes. I don't want to comment other than the fact that we think he's outstanding.
We currently, for 2 open jobs, the Commanders and the Seahawks. The Seahawks eliminated Ben Johnson from their list. Bobby Slowik from the Texans was also a hot candidate for both. It appears that Dan Quinn is one of the few still standing out there. I don't know how much Jerry wants Dan Quinn to leave. I know this, that I'm measuring the temperature of Cowboy fandom around, whether they're friends, family, listeners, texters, and all of you that are on right now. And I think the sense of anger is such that I haven't seen before. We've been mad. We watched the Jason Garrett thing just kind of just dry up, just slowly die on the vine. And by the time it was over, it had been over. The divorce was imminent, but the couple hadn't slept in the same bedroom for a while. It hadn't gotten there with McCarthy. I didn't get that sense. So I'm not surprised there. But Cowboy fandom, as we're expecting somebody to be accountable. Somebody needs to suffer just a little bit. At the very least, I want somebody with the Cowboys to suffer at least as much as me. At least as much as you. Yeah, it's hard to have to take these questions about how things have failed, but there's no accountability suffering going on with the Cowboys. There's no questions about whether the OC or the DC are coming back. Jerry's already told us. My offensive coach, my offensive coordinator, head coach are coming back. No questions. But if you want to begin to appease a very angry mass, as I told RJ a week ago, we want some blood. You better send us a body. And with every passing day, the anger rises. With every passing day. Everyone find Marcus Spears. Find Marcus. I think, there's a lot of Cowboy apologists peppered around the 4-letter network, 3-letter, all around. Marcus wore the jersey. He wants to be happy. Listen to Marcus Spears talk about the Cowboys.
Jerry likes to talk. This is the most beautiful time to talk because it keeps the Cowboys in the headlines, and we are going to talk about it. But here's the deal. Show me. I need him to be from Missouri this offseason. If you all in on the Super Bowl, get Dak locked up so you can free up cap money, get CeeDee Lamb locked up so you can free up cap money. If you want to prove to me and this fan base that you're all in to try to win a Super Bowl, some of them names need to come off that damn list and be down here in Frisco getting ready to practice at the Star.
Marcus Spears talking about put your money where your mouth is. If you better do something. You better. Now, when he says get Dak locked in, notice how he said it, though. He didn't say long term like he said with CD. He said lock CD up for long term. The guy's earned it, best top 5, whatever. All he said about Dak was get a contract of some sort signed so that you can live with it and start planning for the future or move it. But you're going to have to offer us something. You're going to have to give us blood, give us a body, give us some accountability. Let somebody suffer the way that we're suffering as Cowboy fan. And the thing about it is we're used to it. We've been down this road many times, but this one's a road I don't want to come back down again. I don't want to come back down again. And I know that Jerry took a day or two to avoid the knee-jerk reaction of firing anybody else. But we're 10 days out. And as this coaching carousel continues to turn, and the decision on Dan Quinn, I think you've been hoping you didn't have to make. I think Jerry's been hoping that the Commanders would step up and do him a favor. The Seahawks would step up and do him a favor and provide that body for him. Let them hire him away, and you can say, well, here's your body. I was going to probably let him go anyway, or intimate that, so you can go make that change. But the change thing is another issue, because Jerry's a family guy. But when you start talking about letting guys go and bringing them in, you start balancing continuity versus this is kind of a regular part of Cowboy life. Continuity would be nice. This is him talking about balancing the two.
Well, I know how to disrupt and understand disruption. And I think that the nature of what we do with our roster decisions, the fact that we're here looking at help, if you will, for this coming year here at the Senior Bowl, the fact that we have free agency opportunities, the fact that we've got some really substantive decisions to make on our roster as it pertains to, particularly influenced by the salary cap. That's enough disruption for me. If we get through all of those decisions, there'll be a lot of disruption.
We hope there's disruption, right? We hope there's a fair amount of disruption. Now, we all agree there's some continuity we like CeeDee Lamb, like Micah Parsons, like Trayvon Diggs. There's some guys that we want to see for a long time that, We get the fact that 7 to 10 players on your roster are going to eat up 70% of your roster. Roster funds. We get that. But those guys are okay. I don't think anybody's complaining about where they sit. But it's these current decisions that need to be made. And then the perception of who you are versus who you really are. Because we still perceive Jerry as a guy who got a checkbook, got the most expensive franchise in the world, got a beautiful stadium, and will go get whatever's required. We're still talking about the Amari Cooper trade like it just happened. That's been 4 years ago. That's been long enough to where guys have come and go in the league and they're already gone. This didn't just happen. Last year we had a parade of Odell Beckham and others coming through. We had wide receivers working out in Dallas. We got Derrick Henry right now working out in Dallas. Could it be Derrick? You need to disrupt. The continuity thing has not helped you. You let continuity keep Jason Garrett years beyond. We all see the cliff. The cliff is at the end of next season. That's the cliff. That at that point, you got to disrupt. Even if you push the can for Mike McCarthy down, you're going to have to decide. And as he goes, so the rest of that staff, I assume. We see the cliff. You can disrupt now, you can disrupt later, you can do a little bit of both, but it's coming whether you like continuity or not. He's desperately clinging to that continuity too. And I think that's what really gets us. That he doesn't see what we see.
It is the absolute glory hole.
He tells us he's all in. He tells us he understands the fan anger. He tells us that without McCarthy, Dak wouldn't be Dak. He tells us by his actions, I'm bringing McCarthy back because Dak, remember 3 weeks ago, just like my team, when you talk about my team today, remember what you were saying about my team and Dak 3 weeks ago. Because he still remembers it. We don't. And I don't want to. Because what we thought 3 weeks ago was an illusion. It was smoke and mirrors. It was a house of cards. There was a lot of hope. There was a lot of plan, but it was never actuated. We were loose on the joints. It didn't take much to collapse, and that's been the issue. Disrupt, blow things up, but let's do it in a year. Go all in, man. You tell us you're all in. He says, and we played it before, I want to play it one more time. Jerry says that he's all in, however you define that.
I would anticipate, with looking ahead at our key contracts that we'd like to address, we'll be all in. I would anticipate we'll be all in at the end of this year. So when you say, is there any thought, I think we'll strain we'll push the hell out of it.
Is that doing something different than you have in the past in that respect?
Well, it will be, and it will be going all in on different people than you've done in the past.
Okay.
We'll be going all in. We've seen some things out of some. And yes, I would say that you will see us this coming year not building for the future. Is the best way I know to say it. Man, that ought to answer a lot of questions.
Well, it begs a few more, Jerry. That was yesterday in Mobile as the Senior Bowl is getting on. And this is really the pit stop toward the Super Bowl for all the general managers and talent acquirers. They're down there in Mobile looking at the practices today and tomorrow for games that are coming up. Don't forget the Shrine Bowl is also going on this weekend. So lots of that potential disruptor changes coming down there. And as that goes on, we'll make sure we're following. Don't forget, Jason and Joel have everything that went on today with Jerry and Steven on the Blitz this afternoon as they look toward the Super Bowl and the Cowboys at some point making some kind of decisions regarding a couple of these players. Make sure you stay tuned. But I do want to get to the Spurs before our day is done. Spurs are hosting Orlando tonight. The Magic come into town as the team that I think the Spurs, when you look at in the process of becoming something new and better. Orlando's a couple years ahead, but they've been doing this for 20 years. They've always been rebuilding. They haven't been much in a bit. But when you look at what they have done and when the timing of them coming in, an East Coast team that has kind of gone up and down, let's look at what the Spurs are actually going to be going up against in an Orlando Magic team that is as big as anybody they're going to see. That's a long basketball team. That front line is big and they can shoot, though they're as young as the Spurs. Here's the problem, though. How often are we going to see a team with a record of, the mid-30s? They're a 500 basketball team. They are head and shoulders more talented. The Orlando Magic, the team that hadn't had a decent season in 15 years. And it's through drafting. Of course, you're drafted in the lottery over and over, but so are the Spurs. Just take a look at them tonight. Just watch Orlando. Don't discount the fact that it's Orlando and haven't been anything since Shaq. Don't discount the fact that it's Orlando and they haven't been anything since Dwight Howard was thrunking around the place. Because what they have managed to do under the radar is build a roster that actually has players that can play for other teams apart from themselves. Spurs, I'm not sure can say that as much. So when you watch them warm up tonight, this is a game that the Spurs should win. Given the trends, given where they've been going, given what Victor's been doing, this is a winnable basketball game, just as the Wizards were. The Wizards were a team that was less talented than the Spurs. One or two stars that have a couple of bones. But for the fact of the matter is that's a team that they should beat. They did it to Portland. That's an under-talented team. They beat them. At the very least, this team needs to beat teams that are under-talented. Orlando has the perception, but they're not. They're better. Franz Wagner can play. Paolo Banchero is a legitimate baller. Moritz Wagner is a baller. There's some guys that have been mentioned on this roster as well that have been mentioned as trade possibilities as well. So use tonight as a barometer for where we're going. It was announced yesterday that Wemby is going to be part of the Rising Stars Challenge, along with the skills competition. Everything so far but Sunday. Hasn't been named an all-star yet. Performances against bad teams like this are what helps, but better teams like New Orleans, which is around the corner, are what gets you there. But as we look at the top of the West, as Minnesota flirts with it, with Denver, maybe the Minnesota experience with Wemby last week would be enough for the coach to go ahead and bring him in. Tonight, with Orlando in, other questions start to pop up. We had Dr. Garrett on earlier. We asked him what was the hurdle to get Wemby more minutes in back-to-back play. And Doc was kind of like, well, you just kind of set schedules, and he passed that. He had a little ankle issue that kind of slowed him down a bit. But for the most part, this was on time, on schedule. Let me tell you, as we head toward this end, Orlando's the kind of game that Spurs fans now we would tune in to see. Oh, I'd like to see Paolo. Now it's time to tune in for a win. I want to get there. What do you think? You can reach out a lot of different ways. I'm at Rob Thompson, ESPN. He is at RJ Ochoa. We are together, but we got to go. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us today. We got a lot to do. Tomorrow, we're going to look back on what happened last night in this pivotal game and start really focusing on a Super Bowl that is just about 9 days away. Hey, don't forget, Greenie's just around the corner. Rome's coming in on a vine, and the Blitz is going to be busy. Thanks for hanging with us. We'll see you again tomorrow. Y'all be
Are headed to Vegas for